Tanner Mordecai this week. He was very excited. He said one of the best things that Rhett Lashley has brought to this offense is allowing them to play fast and loose. He says they don't really have to think about what they're doing out there. He says it's made him a better quarterback, and it's overall just helped this offense become the machine that they know it could be. That obviously showed itself 2 weeks ago when they scored 77 points and he threw for 9 touchdowns against Houston. He says they'll be able to do that tonight as long as they come out with that same energy.
Harry, thank you. SMU, 11th in total offense, 486.4 yards per game. We expect this to be a good one as Casey Glover is going to kick off. It'll go into the end zone for a touchback. That's where we bring out Tanner Mordecai, the Oklahoma transfer, who has been exceptional of late. 659 yards, 11 touchdowns in the last 2 games, Lewis. He has found his rhythm in this Rhett Lashley offense after a career at Oklahoma. He's starting to find his groove.
He sure is. Look, right now he's a semifinalist for the Davey O'Brien Award for one of the top quarterbacks, to be one of the top quarterbacks in the country. He's throwing to the best wide receiver in the country right now as far as, yards per game in Rashee Rice, and let's just see what he's got going here tonight. I think this is going to be his toughest test of the year.
Right out of the gate, a throw by Mordecai to Dylan Goffney. That'll be a first down for SMU and a gain of 20.
Look, Dylan Goffney, they have a bunch of wide receivers on this football team at SMU that can get going. Dylan Goffney averages almost 21 yards per reception. You see they start off right away with a big play to him.
You don't blink and you'll miss it.
Absolutely. This team runs plays at a ridiculous pace. As a defender, you better be able to get lined up and know what your assignment is quick.
That's Kamar Wheaton, the Alabama transfer, former 5-star out of Garland, Texas. He's another guy that they've ID'd, Lewis, that has started to come on of late.
Yeah, just last week against USF, he had his first 2 touchdowns of his college career. Didn't play last year, redshirted, had a little bit of an injury history. But he has really gotten it going over the past 2 weeks.
It's Wheaton again off the right side. He's going to take it past the 50-yard line, tackled by Nick Anderson, and a gain of 5. The running game is something they're going to want to get going to see what they have against a Tulane defense. They gave up 336 yards a week ago to UCF.
Yeah, look, Tulane was really surprised by the speed of John Rice Plumlee. They said it themselves. They said right after the first time he touched the football, they were standing on the sideline going, whoa. What do we have here? Well, look, SMU can run the football. This outside zone running scheme that you hear people talk about, they run it as good as anyone, at least based off of their last game against South Florida.
So just across into Tulane territory, 3rd down to give to Wheaton off the left side, and a good job by the defense. Eric Hicks led the way, and it's going to be a loss of 1 in decision time for Lashley, who he likes to go for it on 4th.
Yeah, that's a real nice job there by Eric Hicks of getting penetration. That's the only way to stop the zone run. You have to penetrate the line of scrimmage and make the running backs go lateral and not be able to find that lane. That's a perfect job. I'm a little bit shocked right here. I'm a little shocked. But I think Willie Fritz was expecting them to go for it just about every time. When you're on the plus side of the 50 and you're still kicking it, that's an interesting decision.
The football guys love it. The analytics guys don't. Jaquan Jackson, deep to receive, situated inside his 10. There's a flag on the play. Our official tonight, Henry Johns. Replay official, Rick Jackson.
False start. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So, Lewis, if you're Tulane, based on how it started last week, you blinked and you were down to UCF. You love that you came in here forced to 3 and out.
Are you kidding me? Of course you do. I mean, you're to get the ball back to your offense and see then if you can get Michael Pratt off to a fast start, which he didn't do last week.
Ryan Buchevsky able to get that punt off.
That was dangerous, man.
Jackson at the 15, one of the more dangerous punt returners in the country. Takes it to the 18-yard line, punt of 38, tackled by Teddy Knox, and that's where we welcome out Michael Pratt in this Tulane offense, who didn't quit last week. They had to come back. They've got one of the more talented running backs in the conference in Tajay Spears. And, Lewis, they've got everything that it takes with this unit. If it comes into a shootout tonight, they can hang with them.
Well, look, they can produce explosives, Matt, just as well as SMU. They just do it in a little bit of a different way. Look, Tajay Spears is one of those guys who can just absolutely rip you with his home run speed. They've got 4 wide receivers that they rotate through there that are all real good playmakers, too.
Flag on the play. That Spears on 1st down. You see the speed out of Tajay Spears. off the right side, and that's what we're talking about with 22. We'll check the flag brought down by Nick Roberts after a gain of 25.
Offside. Defense, number 9. Penalty is declined. Result of the play. It's a first down.
Well, you see it. Tajay Spears, when he gets the perimeter, he will absolutely destroy pursuit angles. Here you see they just run a little bit of a G scheme, pulling the backside guard and tackle. And when they get out there on the edge and they can seal the edge, and you don't have your force principles intact, you are going to be pulling hamstrings trying to chase this young man down.
That'll be a false start on Tulane, giving back the 5 yards that they were declined on the SMU penalty after the gain of 20. Spears didn't play much of the second half last week against UCF. Came in decoy situation, had a banged-up knee. He looked healthy on that first run.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
There's Remitich to start tonight at right guard. So 1st and 15. Okay. They get the 5 yards back.
Well, I'm wondering if they may have got a little bit of a false start there on Prince Pines, the left guard.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yep. You saw there Brandon Crossley coming down into the box at the bottom of your screen off the left tackle side. It looked like he was going to blitz. Offensive linemen get a little bit shaky when they notice that they're going to get some kind of 5-man pressure or more.
So already the 4th flag, play fake and boot from Pratt out of the backfield. That's Tyreek James, the tight end, at a gain of 7.
Tyreek James, look, they have 2 tight ends here at Tulane that they really use in different ways. Tyreek James more the wide receiver, a guy who they will split out of the formation, get him down the seam. And then number 84, Will Wallace, who, folks, I'll tell you what, I don't know how excited you get about blocking tight ends. I get excited about this guy because he is one of the heart and soul players of this entire program.
So Pratt looks for the quick throw, nothing there, tucks it and run. Their gain of 5. Their Levelston on the tackle. That's going to bring up a 3rd and long. SMU told us this week they cannot live in 3rd and short with this Tulane offense. This is a good scenario for them at 3rd and 8. Pressure showing. Pratt, quick throw. No one there, has to tuck it again. And Lewis, 2 times in a row, Pratt looked for the receiver. Nothing was there, had to tuck it and run. Brought down by Junior Aho.
And you see him just trying to look for the quick 3-step drop passing game, the slants to the top of the screen.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 26. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And already, SMU 3 penalties. That one's going to move the chains. And that's a mistake when you had this offense off the field. Now they're going to move the chains deep into your territory.
And look, I think both of the teams right now, you know, they really need to get going. They're both of them are kind of sputtering a little bit on offense. They've hit some plays. Tajay Spears got out the gate here, but you got to establish some rhythm. Quit shooting yourself in the foot.
Quick pop pass to Lawrence Keys out of the backfield. He can scoot. Able to get away from a couple of SMU defenders. I'll tell you what, Keys has some speed. You saw it there, able to break a few tackles and a gain of 7.
Yeah, that's a nice job of turning something or making something out of nothing. And SMU, look, they've been plagued by lack of tackling or poor tackling. If you watch the Houston game, which I think all of us have seen some highlights of, they really struggled with tackling against them, led to a lot of the scores that they had against them in that game. And you can see Keys here. That's a nice job right there, just putting on the brakes, letting Jahari Rogers fly by. Those are the kind of things these wide receivers for Tulane can do. They have guys who are big play type of guys. Deuce Watts, Jaquan Jackson, he's one of the fantastic punt returners that they have. And you see there to hit out of bounds right on the sideline.
That turned quickly from a loss of 4 to a gain of 7. Injured SMU player on his own sideline. So we'll take a break here. We're going to step aside for a minute while they tend to the SMU player. Tulane ball in Mustangs territory. We'll be back. All right, so that's Terrence Newman over on the SMU sideline. We're not going to show the play because the injury to his leg looked pretty bad. They brought out the cart. We don't have, Lewis, a good vantage point to see whether they're putting an air cast on it.
Yeah.
But based on what we saw in the replay, doesn't look to be good for Terrence Newman, the nose guard.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're pursuing the football and big men are running down little guys on the sideline, as Elijah Tapman was doing so on that play, sometimes these are the unfortunate things that happen in the game of football. You can't always protect yourself. Let's just hope that he's all right. He can get healed up and get back to playing the game he loves.
It's an SMU defense that on a couple of occasions this year has given up some yards and points, and the one that they talk about the most that people know nationally is the Houston game.
Yeah.
And they're just talking about, hey, we knew that it was going to be back and forth. We just needed 1 or 2 stops to get the win, and that really catapulted them, starting with this winning streak that they've got going. As you see them still trying to get Newman there on the cart. This is a tough deal, Lewis, too. This is a short week. They were on the road last week in Tampa. Here they are in New Orleans. And now one of their defensive players earlier on to see his teammates coming over to him. A senior out of Duncanville,
Look,
Texas.
these are always very, very unfortunate situations. I mean, teammates know what's invested in this game. What's invested in this game, even in a short week, when you know that you're still tired, you're still beat up from the week before. You really only have a couple walkthroughs, then you hop on a plane and you're going and playing another game. And then you just hate to see one of your brothers get hurt like this, especially early on in a football game and have to be taken off the field on a cart. No one ever wants that to happen, not to themselves, not to their teammates. I mean, this game really is a unique brotherhood. And now SMU's defense and defensive coordinator Scott Simons will have to get them out here and get them ready to play once again and get them going. I mean, this is a team that, you know, felt pretty good about their performance last week against South Florida after coming off of that game against Houston. And even before the Houston game, they were feeling pretty good about how they had started to turn the corner a little bit playing defense before that. So I think on this side of the ball, they're just anxious to maybe put together a good performance here against a really good Tulane offense. You just hate to see this kind of scenario play itself out early on.
And there's our first good look at what they did to that left leg. You see Newman. I mean, all things considered, seems in good spirits, Lewis. But
yeah. Look, I mean, football players, young football players in particular, are very resilient, and they just are. It's been years since I've been in that situation, but I mean, I can just remember my mindset, these kind of moments when you saw one of your brothers get taken off the field. SMU will take good care of him. They'll get him healed up.
It's one of those super seniors who took advantage of the extra time because of COVID.
You can tell he's in some discomfort. That's clear. They just need to get him going, take good care of him.
It's one of the guys they regard as the anchor in the middle of that defense. The Tulane medical facilities in and around the area, some of the best in the country. Our best to Terrence Newman as his night comes to an end early here in the first quarter. So back to play, 2nd and 3 for the Green Wave. Tajay Spears in the backfield. They give it to him off the left side. There's those quicks again, able to get out of a tackle. And a nice job by Spears. Jimmy Phillips brings him down. And a gain of 8.
Yeah, you see that the safety down on the line of scrimmage, Brandon Crossley, had a free shot on him, and he just could not get him down. You just see right there, you just got to be able to wrap up. Then you see, once again, you see Sam Westfall, he misses his shot at him. If you do not wrap these running backs up for Tulane, whether it be Spears, Celestine, these guys will embarrass you. And next thing you know, they're out the gate getting 4, 5, 6 yards per pop.
Got trips to the top of the screen, motion down in. Shoddy Clayton Johnson, his first appearance. They'll give it to him up the middle. He's able to squeak his way for a gain of 4. Nick Roberts on the tackle. But you mentioned Tajay is the guy that gets all of the credit, but they've got a good stable of running backs.
They sure
like
do.
all 3 of them.
Yeah, Clayton Johnson, who just ran the balls, the bigger of the 3. He's about 6'1", 6'1.5", 205, 210 pounds. Really the banger in between the tackles. Doesn't have the same kind of speed that Spears does, but they just bring them at you in waves, man, and rotate them through there. You never get a break. You can never let your guard down against this rushing attack.
So Tulane finds their way into the red zone. 2nd and 5. Pratt the play fake, looking left, dumps it out of the backfield. That's Clayton Johnson, and a good job by SMU's defense. Nelson Paul first on the tackle after a gain of 1.
Yeah, you see Nelson Paul there, one of the better athletes on this SMU defense, goes about 6'2", 230 pounds, leads this team in sacks with 5 sacks. He's got a nice edge rush package, what you like to call a long arm bull rush type of package if they can get him in the passing situation.
So Spears here on 3rd and 4. It's going to be close. Brought down by Phillips, and they're going to mark him short. So it's going to bring up 4th and inches. Tulane keeping the offense out there, Lewis. Pratt under center. He's going to sneak it up in there, get some help from Spears. And they're going to give Michael Pratt the first down, Tulane.
Yeah, I think you got to, if you're Tulane right now, you want to make sure you start off this game fast, especially considering, as I said earlier, how this game started last week. And you really want to get Michael Pratt going as well as far as throwing the football. The run game is going well. He just looked a little off early on last week. Really turned it on in the second half. Just want to keep this drive going, keep this momentum going.
11th play of the drive. Spears. Elijah Chapman brings him down after 4. So 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Elijah Chapman's going to be one of those guys who's going to need to be able to really stop this inside running game. He's really one of their best players. He's tied on this team 2nd in sacks. Good quickness, built low to the ground, about 6 foot, 290 pounds. Just a good hard run stopper on those inside running plays.
That's Keys again. The fake to Keys. Pratt's going to score. Touchdown, Tulane. Plays, 81 yards, untouched. And how about that? A defensive stop in a long drive, Lewis, puts the home team on top early.
Yeah, look, that's real good decision-making on the part of Michael Pratt. You're going to see him here. This read-end man on the line of scrimmage decides to pull it. He sees there that the force player, Brandon Crossley, he has the jet sweep covered, so he just pulls it and takes it up the field. That's just a nice, smart, methodical drive on the part of the quarterback, on the part of this offense overall. Run the football with authority, go for it on 4th down, start off fast, exactly how they want.
A drive kept alive after a 3rd down penalty. Tulane takes advantage, up 7-0 here in the first. Didn't return home till the end of September. All of that led to a 2-win season, and Harry, adversity that this team feels that ultimately brought them together.
Those were the days that set the tone for this season. They got closer than they thought they ever could, and this past offseason, Willie Fritz challenged them to decide what type of team they wanted to be this year. The captains held individual team meetings, organized multiple ones of them that had PowerPoints. At the end of each PowerPoint, it had a picture of the AAC championship trophy. They wanted to emphasize that that was their goal this year and something that they could attain. Obviously, winning tonight would go a long way in doing that.
Each one of the players put 2 and 10 on their phone to remind them of last year and how good they can be. Many seniors on this defense. It's the strength of this team. Their linebackers, Williams and Anderson. Senior night here. Mordecai to throw. Looks downfield. No one there. That's Tyler Levine. And I tell you what, if you have a horse collar and a neck roll and you're a running back, that means you are looking for bad things. Macon Clark missed the tackle to gain a 10 for Levine.
Look, Tyler Levine, look, he's part of that Pony Express, the new reincarnated version. You see him, he's got the belly hanging out, the half shirt. But him and Kamar Wheaton, they are fun to watch.
Mordecai downfield, falls incomplete, intended for R.J. Maryland, son of Russell Maryland, the freshman out of South Lake Carroll.
Look, R.J. Maryland is a fantastic athlete now. He's a four-star prospect here as a freshman who you'll see him get down the seam as quick as anyone. Great hands, great route runner. Mordecai just missed him. But look, Tyler Levine, folks, number 31, the running back, 5'11", 212 pounds. I mean, he's a throwback, man. He's a throwback with a little bit of a modern edge.
Mordecai again to the sideline, and that is incomplete. Maryland was able to shake away from the defender. Macon Clark was there, bringing up another 3rd and long.
That's twice now that Tanner Mordecai has missed him, and they've had people running open, finding these holes within the zone defense of Tulane, missing on some potential explosive plays through the air.
Averaging over 325 yards per game through the air, 7th in the country, 3rd and 10 for Mordecai. Has time across the middle, incomplete. That was intended for Rice, the nation's leading receiver. Lance Robinson on the coverage, probably a ball Rice should have caught, and now SMU's going to have to punt again.
Yeah, again, a little bit off target once again, a little bit behind Rasheed as he's running that in cut against Lance Robinson, who's probably their best athlete in the secondary with the most speed. You see him there, he has to reach back and try and make a difficult catch. You lead him a little bit, that's an easy throw and catch. He had 3 passes there in that drive right there that should have been completions. They still should be on the field. Now Tulane gets his second shot at it.
And Buchevsky gets a nice roll inside the 20. Similar drive before. SMU gets 10 yards on first down, then they get 3 straight incompletions, 46-yard punt. Not the start the Ponies wanted, but the start Tulane wanted on defense. Jackson Square, beautiful this time of year for the holidays. Tulane up 7-0 here in the first.
Perimeter running game, the G-scheme running game where they're getting pullers out on the edge is something that they have featured all year long. And it's something that Tajay Spears really does like because of his speed. And then you see here Michael Pratt on the zone read coming off of that jet sweep action. He pulls it. The defenders are all taking the jet sweep, and he just walks in for the touchdown.
Play fake across the middle. Good shot by Pratt to Shea Wyatt. Wyatt still on his feet. Wyatt takes it across the 45-yard line. Jahari Rogers brings him down. How about that? Gain of 29 for Tulane.
Well, that's just a perfect execution by Michael Pratt on the RPO. He just pulls it, decides to throw it. Shea Wyatt has got leverage on the slant, and then it's just a catch-and-run situation, and he's off to the races.
Now Spears. Spears cuts through the middle. There goes Tajay Spears. Is he special? Brought down by Brian Massey. Gain of 48. Tulane in business. Nelson Paul missed the tackle.
I'm telling you, he's like a high-powered sports car. You just see here this inside zone open up, and once he's on the second level, he's just going through gears. It's like second gear, third, fourth, fifth, and he's at top speed in no time. You better get a handle on him if you're SMU's defense, otherwise he's going to run you right out of the stadium.
So Pratt under center. I-back formation. Spears. And a good job by SMU's defense right there at the line of scrimmage. Isaiah Slade Matati on the tackle. And no gain.
Look, Slade Matati, when he came out of high school, was a 4-star recruit coming out of Hawaii. And he's one of those guys who really can defend against the inside run with great center of gravity, good hand use. He's got good hitting ability. They need to really shore up the inside of this run defense between the tackles and the outside as well, because right now Tulane's got it going.
And right now Tajay Spears walks into the end zone. Untouched for the second touchdown for Tulane. And you couldn't have picked a better start with a green wave in this one.
Look, it's the perimeter run defense right now for SMU. The people who are responsible for setting the edge that right now are just making mistake after mistake. You can just see it. You see it right here. You see number 3, Wiley. He gets caught up on the block. You see Westfall, 26, the corner. He's peeking inside, trying to see where the ball is instead of playing your assignment and letting everyone else do their job. Because you don't have a big margin for error when you're going up against Tajay Spears. He's too fast. He's too fast, and you saw it on that long run right there. It's just so noticeable. This is the start that they dreamed of and that they wanted.
And Spears, first 2 drives, 7 carries, 91 yards. They're already chanting Houday here in the home crowd at Yeoman Stadium. Tulane, the turnaround continues. This is a complete turnaround from what we saw a week ago in their start against UCF. Our ABC and ESPN Statement Saturday featured college football lineup. Michigan hosts Illinois. The fight in Bielema is kind of backed up a little bit after a great start. They've got Michigan at noon and Ohio State. Are either of those teams in look-ahead mode with their annual The Game coming up the following week? Miami on the road at Clemson, Tennessee in the nightcap. Hanging around that college football playoff picture. They're in the barnyard taking on South Carolina, 7 p.m. Eastern. This is my weekly statement of how did we get to the end of college football season so quickly.
That's why we need to just take it slow, Matt. Remember, man, just take it in, take it in. I mean, this game's going fast. And I will say this, look, if you're Tulane, and you talk about explosive plays, most of the time you're talking about SMU's offense. Tulane so far already in this game, 3 plays of 25-plus yards, 2 on that last drive, and they're coming in the running game. That's really where they're coming. The running game is going to open up the RPO game and the pass game off of play action if it's successful like this all night long. And SMU, look, they cannot afford to get in too big of a hole, although I will say they can light you up pretty quickly, too.
Yeah, if there's one team that can come back from this type of early deficit, it's SMU as Rice on first down. And again, we've seen some first down success out of SMU in a gain of 8, and then they stall a couple of plays later. We'll watch the tempo here now.
Look, Lance Robinson, the corner from Tulane, is one of my favorite players to watch on this defense because of how fast he is, how physical he plays. I watched him last week track down John Rice Plumlee across the field, and we all know how fast John Rice is. That's a great tackle on one of the best wide receivers in all of college football, Rashee Rice.
Trips bottom of the screen. It's Rice again. He's going to have a first down, SMU. Gain of 7.
And who was it? Dorian Williams. Big Dorian Williams running inside out. And that's what they've got to do when they're sitting in zone. Once the ball declares, once they read the quarterback, pull that pin and throw the football, all 11 guys got to be breaking on the rock because these guys, they've got some perimeter people that can just rip you and they can even up this score in a hurry.
That's Wheaton off the left side. You see his burst, what he's able to get. A nice gain there on first down and a gain of 6, brought down by Angelo Anderson.
It's a nice job by the tackle, Marcus Bryant, number 52, getting out there and blocking the force player. Nice job of Tanner Mordecai just riding it and then handing it off to the former 5-star Kamar Wheaton.
And I love talking to Casey Woods, the offensive coordinator. He and Lashley run this offense, both Gus Malzahn disciples. Woods, one of the finalists for the Broyles Award for top assistant coach, said, you know, how would you describe this offense as best you can? It's like, you know what? You run the ball until you can't, then you throw it deep.
That's exactly it. And this is a team that right now, when the running game is getting going for this offense, is really when it gets its most dangerous. And over the past couple of weeks, with the combination of Wheaton and Tyler Levine, who's in the game now here on third down, they have got a nice 1-2 punch. This offensive line is settling in.
0 for 2 on third down tonight. Levine trying to stick his hat up there, and Tulane having nothing of it. Led by Eric Hicks, and now decision time similar to where we saw SMU on their first possession, Lewis.
Yeah, you see there, that's a nice job by the safety, Lummy Young, coming up on the edge and setting the edge, making sure the ball didn't bounce outside, keeping everything bottled up and contained. Brett Lashley said enough of that punt on fourth down stuff. It's time to go for it here.
This is big early in the game. 4th and 2. Levine in motion. Mordecai. You got a timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Tulane, first of the half. 30 seconds.
SMU had the ball play there. You saw R.J. Maryland, the tight end, all for naught. Willie Fritz is going to use his first time out of the half prior to the game. Rhett Lastly, kind enough to let him mic him up.
The official told me if you're going to do that, you got to do a few more crunches.
I know.
Okay, you're kind of getting pudgy. You're getting that November belly like I got. We got some good football weather.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you from?
I'm from Delaware.
Okay.
So.
This is nothing to you. This is like a heat wave. Aid is practicing like he's that dude. Like right now he thinks he could throw it through the eye of a needle. And I'm not going to tell him otherwise. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You guys set the tone. Let's go, let's go. Come on, 7-1, lead them.
Had a great first season for Rhett Lastly. First SMU coach since 1982 to lead the Mustangs to a bowl game in his first season.
Fun guy to talk to, man. Has a great demeanor about him. Really understands offensive football.
Mordecai, play fake to Rice downfield, and he dropped it. Rasheed Rice had Jarius Monroe beat. Mordecai put it on him, and the nation's leading receiver couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, you can see right here, you can see Rasheed Rice. You see him there hand checking Jarius Monroe down the field. Probably could have got called for offensive pass interference to create separation there late in that down. And look, Rasheed Rice has uncharacteristically dropped a few passes over the past couple of weeks. He's dealing with a little bit of an injury, but playing through it, he's still one of the most productive pass catchers in all of college football. And that right there, for a guy of his caliber, that has to be 6. That has to be an automatic catch. And you haven't heard the last of him yet tonight.
Now good field position for Tulane, up 14-0. Spears. And it's going to be on this SMU defense now to make a much-needed stop. Junior Aho there. And the ball play was on for SMU, and now they put the defense in a tough situation, already down 14-0.
And you're giving them the football here on the plus side of the 50 for Tulane, and the running game has really got going. We're going to see whether or not SMU can make some adjustments to their perimeter run defense, because you know that's where it's coming next.
Shea White, motion, play fake. Pratt's going to take a shot. Pratt has a receiver, and it's incomplete. Intended for Deuce Watts. He had Rogers beat. Heading to the post, Lewis. The pressure by Aho, and Pratt couldn't hit him.
Yeah, you see Jahari Rogers is sitting outside leverage, playing for all the out routes, didn't have a safety in the middle of the field, and Deuce Watts just takes an inside release and then just takes off. Now it's just a foot race. It's just an absolute foot race. Michael Pratt misses him. But see, that's the effect when you have secondary people who are looking in the backfield, maybe not playing their responsibilities because the run game has been gashing you. It just opens up the deep passing game.
Pratt's first incomplete pass. He's going to try to run it up in there. And SMU's defense, nice job in a gain of 1. Jalen Samuels, he's one of the young players that they love here at SMU, one of the good young defenders.
Yeah, look, that's just a nice job right there of Samuels of closing that off on that quarterback power. But Jalen Samuels, I mean, he's just an absolute freak show as far as his athletic ability is concerned. 6'7", 240 pounds. This got nice natural pass rush skills. Him and number 58 is Isaiah Smith are two of the more athletic edge rushers that they have on their football team, and quite honestly represent the future of SMU's defense.
Casey Glover's first punt of the night. Roderick Daniels Jr. catches it inside his 10. He bobbles it. Tulane's got it. Ethan Hudak comes up with it. Muffed punt and a mistake for SMU after getting their first defensive stop.
You see Roderick Daniels, he just misjudges it. You see the football gets up on him. You see it's going to hit him in the top of his chest instead of catching it down right around maybe mid-chest. You see it there. He lets it get into his pads. That's just another bad break for SMU and for Tulane. And you could go up 3 scores here early in the first quarter of this football game. Sudden change situation where SMU's defense got to find a way to hold them to at least 3.
They hold Spears there on 1st and goal. Elijah Chapman with the tackle. Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. And Tajay Spears continues to be brilliant in the first quarter. Third straight game with 85 or more rushing yards in the first quarter.
That's unbelievable.
Tonight, 94. He's averaging a first down per carry.
Like, he's just so explosive. The perimeter run game here is just so good. That right now, I'm telling you, if I'm Willie Fritz, I'm saying, look, we're not running the football between the tackles. We're going to get out on the perimeter and test their run force principles over and over. There's no need to run it inside.
Pratt to throw. Spears out of the backfield. Spears is going to score. You cannot have picked a better start for the home team. Now outscoring their opponents, Lewis, 100-30 in the first quarter. It is now 20-0.
That's just a nice job right there of Michael Pratt, just surveying the middle of the field. SMU sitting in zone defense, keeping everybody frozen in the middle of the field, and then just hitting Tajay Spears out here in the flat. And down here in the red area, if you drop too far into the end zone and you don't have enough time to recover, it's just going to be an easy walk-in situation. What a heck of a start for Tulane, and for SMU, their defense has to be thinking, here we go again.
Lewis, 21 points to start the game. Tulane trying to punch their ticket and work their way to the American Conference Championship. I'd say this is a pretty good start. End of one in New Orleans. It's all Tulane. What a first quarter for Tajay Spears. 100 total yards, 2 touchdowns, Lewis. Now 26 for his career.
Yeah, look, we keep saying it. It's the blocking on the perimeter and how well they're making sure they execute in that manner. And quite honestly, SMU is not doing themselves any favors with committing these kind of assignment errors on the edge. And when you're going up against a guy like Tajay Spears, you don't have any margin for error. You cannot be unsure of what your assignment is. He's too explosive. We said it in the open. We're going to say it all game long.
That's Brian Massey takes the ball just on the other side of the 20. Tajay Spears now just 5 yards away from 5th consecutive game of at least 100 rushing yards. And he's out, just about doubled up SMU's offense. And Lewis, here at the start of the second quarter, down 21-0. I know this offense is explosive, but it's kind of you need to score now if you're SMU.
Look, you need your best players to show up and play their very best in this moment. That means Rasheed Rice, you can't drop any more footballs. Tanner Mordecai, you cannot have any more throws you miss of open wide receivers.
First time we've called Felton Gardner's name tonight. Dorian Williams, the senior linebacker, he's been active, gain of 4.
Yeah, as good as this team has looked over the past couple of weeks, as far as the explosion that they had against Houston, how good they looked against South Florida with the running game getting going. Tonight they just seem to be sleepwalking. They'll have a good play, then they'll have a drop pass, then they'll have a good play, then they'll have a poor throw.
Mordecai looking by way of Jordan Curley. He just has to throw it out of bounds. We've yet to call Curley's name yet on a reception. And again, it's going to be third without any rhythm to start the drive for SMU.
Yeah, it just seems like right now, you're almost like you're calling plays to call plays right now to see if anything will stick with the guys as far as being able to establish some rhythm. And that's a tough position for offensive coordinator Casey Woods to be in. But the players have to work their way out of it. They know how explosive they are. You've already said this is a team that can come back from any deficit, quite honestly. I just don't know if you can do it against this defense.
4th drive of the game, just 3 first downs for SMU. Mordecai. And another tipped and dropped pass. Good defense by Lance Robinson covering Rice. And another SMU punt. Still no 3rd down conversions for the Ponies tonight.
Look, Lance Robinson, we talked about him last drive. He's just one of their best defensive backs, if not their best. Look at that perfect inside leverage. He reads this route perfectly. Look, he's second right now on this football team in PBUs with 4. Has great speed, great competitive qualities. Look, he is up for the challenge.
Buchevsky's been busy. Jaquan Jackson looking to make a play. He's going to field it. I think he touched it. I think Jackson touched that ball. Is this the play that gets SMU back in it?
That's exactly what they needed, Matt. Exactly what they needed. Something to spark this football team, get them great field position now. Now they're on the +20 going in.
Chris Adamora comes up with it. You see the glove right there. It came off his right hand. And now we've got a special teams mistake for both teams, Lewis. It got Tulane this 21-0 lead. Could this get SMU on the board and some momentum?
Absolutely. Look, that's the kind of thing that you just don't want to do if you're Tulane. When the ball hits the ground like this, I mean, don't try and compound a bad decision already. Just let the ball go ahead and bounce. You don't want to have that kind of fielding error where you just kind of gift wrap perfect field position for an offense that doesn't need any help to get going.
There are times in a game when one team has nothing going for them.
Yeah.
And one little play can kind of change and spark and ignite to get them back in, and we'll see if it does that. SMU.
This offense has guys, man. I'm telling you, look, Jordan Curley is a player. Rasheed Rice, these guys can get going. Dylan Goffney, he's averaging over 21 yards per reception. So they've got some guys that can heat up. You just don't want to help them.
Setting up the screen to Kamar Weed. It's caught! Touchdown, SMU!
That's football for you right there.
R.J. Maryland off the deflection. It was a screen that looked doomed from the start. And one play after a turnover, the Mustangs get on the board.
And you have Lummy Young coming off the edge, putting pressure on Tanner Mordecai. I'm thinking maybe he's going to pick this ball out of the air right there. And then you have Dorian Williams, who I think is going to intercept the ball, and it goes over his head. And there's a guy, R.J. Maryland again, the tremendous freshman tight end, who finally gets his hands on one and scores a touchdown. Now they're right back in it. Now they're down 2 scores, right back in it.
Maryland's 4th touchdown in his last 4 games. Rhett Lastly cannot say the ball didn't bounce our way. You got the punt fumble, you got the tipped touchdown, and you've got SMU on the board. 21-7 here, beginning of the second. Mexico City, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, both on ESPN and the ESPN app. Lawrence Keys going to receive that punt at his goal line. Keys has speed. Keys has space. There goes Keys. Lawrence Keys brought down by Deuce Palmer. And again, Tulane, after a kick return of 62 yards, is set up with great field position.
Little alley return, like we used to call it back in the days of the Cleveland Browns. You see it. Hits right there outside the numbers, outside the college numbers. Now he's just off to the races. Now it's just about instincts, man, weaving his way through traffic. You got to track him down. Look, that's how you answer, right? You have a special teams blunder by Jaquan Jackson. And then his buddy Lawrence Keys says, hey, I got you, dude. I got you. Just give me a little space, as Deion Sanders used to tell us back in the days of the Falcons. Give me a little space. I'm going to take this thing to the house.
3rd big special teams play of the night. And Spears on first down. This SMU defense needs to come up with a stop, Harry.
Yeah, you know, Lewis, you had mentioned mixed-up defensive assignments on that last defensive possession for SMU. That was the main message here on the sideline. While they were sitting down here, they said, hey, as long as you do your job, we'll be able to get back in this football game. So that's the main emphasis that we got going on down here.
They'll need to have that talk with the special teams now after SMU able to get on the board. Loss of 1 for Spears, 2nd and 11. Quick shot to the outside. Jaquan Jackson, he's also got speed. He fumbled the punt, makes a nice play there. First down, Tulane. Jalen Samuels chases him down after 13.
Look, when you get a zero blitz look and they're bringing 6 or more players and they're going with no safety in the middle of the field, that's what you do. Get the ball out on the perimeter. And if you get it blocked up right, you're going to rip them for a big explosive play. That's just a nice job by Tulane. And by Michael Pratt recognizing what was going on, getting the ball out on the edge, away from all the traffic, and letting these wide receivers go to work.
And Lewis, this Tulane offense averaging just over 32.5 points a game. And they've come out on fire. As Pratt makes the right read, Michael Pratt scores.
That's just another great job by Michael Pratt of reading the play properly and then on the part of SMU's defense. You cannot allow Michael Pratt to run through your secondary like this and score when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys stumbling over each other, knocking each other off of their attempt to make the play. You got great downfield blocking on the part of Tulane, and Michael Pratt is taking it in for a score. That's unacceptable on the part of SMU, and I'm sure they're going to hear about it from DC Scott Simons when they get to the sideline.
They scored 31 points in a loss last week to UCF. We're just playing here in the second quarter with 12:22 left. They've already got 28, but SMU's got offense. We could be in store for some scoring tonight in New Orleans, 28-7.
Business Tulane means in this football game. And right now, if you're Brandon Crossley and the rest of the defenders on the SMU defense, you better get together and get this figured out. Because otherwise, this team is going to run you right out of this stadium. Michael Pratt, I mean, just look at that stat line tonight. I mean, he's doing whatever he wants to do as far as the run game is concerned. And at 6'3" and 220 pounds, he's not your typical quarterback, as he's shown you so far in this football game.
Massey was deep and let the kick go into the end zone. 28-7 SMU. Again, that field position ignited by the Keys kick return. And it's been all easy work for Pratt in that Tulane offense here early on.
And when you look at it now, 4 plays of 25-plus yards for the Tulane offense. And we talk about explosives all the time on this broadcast, no matter what game it is, what level it is. It's the quickest way to get you beat, and that's why right now.
First time Curley's caught a pass out of the backfield. That's going to be a late hit, and that's going to tack on 15 after a gain of 12.
That's just not a smart play by Larry Brooks, the safety. You just got to let that go, man. You have this game right now going exactly how you want it. Don't make dumb mistakes.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit, number 31 of the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
But if you're SMU, you'll take all the yardage you can get. Jordan Curley, the wide receiver, and that's a guy you need to get going as well.
That's as blatant as it gets. Mordecai continues to be good on first down. 5 of 6, 69 yards in the touchdown. Struggled after that, but that's a good start to SMU on this drive. Already in Tulane territory. Ball at the 48. Mordecai downfield. Mordecai picked off. DJ Douglas. And the nightmare continues for SMU. Douglas came in for Lummy Young and comes up with the big turnover here for that Tulane Green Wave defense.
These switch releases on the outside where they try and get too vertical down the field and really try and put the flat defender, and you see it right there. You see DJ Douglas, number 12. Whenever you have switch releases like that and you're playing some kind of 3-deep zone and you're a flat defender, you have to carry that switch release, and that's exactly what he does. He makes the quarterback have to put the ball over top of him. But you see him there, he rises up and makes that interception. That's just a great play on the part of DJ Douglas, and another bad throw on the part of Tanner Mordecai.
That's Iverson Celestine, tackle for loss, SMU. Mike Young, Sanjo Najiki on the tackle, and a loss of 2.
The interior run defense of SMU has answered the bell so far tonight. It's really the perimeter run game and the second and third level defenders that are missing tackles, not playing their assignments, and that's why Michael Pratt has been getting out the gate on them. But inside, the D-line has been doing their job from tackle to tackle.
2nd and 12. Celestine again. Off the left side, SMU again. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
That's a real nice job by inside linebacker Jimmy Phillips, number 6, of just moving down the line of scrimmage there and then just filling the hole and making the tackle. Again, they've got some good athletes on the 1st and 2nd level of this defense, especially when you're talking about the inside running game. Jimmy Phillips is exactly how you want him. 6'3", about 240 pounds. And run sideline to sideline. That's a nice play. They just got to string together some more of them.
Neither team has converted a 3rd down on the night. Yet we've got 35 points, 3rd and 12. Pratt to throw, gets out of the pressure, and again, no 3rd down conversion. That's a big stop for SMU. That is Jalen Samuels and Isaac Slade Matatia on the tackle, and they're going to get a punt.
That play was made by the defensive tackle, DeVere Levelston, number 96, and you see him with the quick inside swim move. You see the hand go up to the side of the helmet there. And then you see Jalen Samuels stop his rush, retrace his steps, and finish the play. Good team defense, but it was all started by the interior pressure, which we've been talking about.
And I tell you what, these punt returners are living dangerously tonight after a punt of 54 yards. Kylan Harrison, the tackle. 28-7 Tulane. Can SMU get it going on offense? We'll find out next.
It absolutely is about ball security and protecting it when you have it. And in those sudden change type of situations, making sure that you don't give it back to the other team. Here, you have drop passes, you have mishandled punts, interceptions. Those are the kind of things that you cannot afford to have happening to you when you're on the road against an opponent as good as Tulane.
Tyler Levine picks up 5 on 1st down. Levine again gets it off the right side. You want to see if they can get this running game going with Levine, with Wheaton. That'll be enough for a 1st down. Larry Brooks brings him down.
That was actually one of their best runs of the game so far. The wide zone, the stretch zone, get everything moving laterally, and then find the crease, get the ball north and south. Levine has had a lot of success doing that over the past 2 weeks.
Trips to the top of your screen. Mordecai looked deep, couldn't find anyone, but was able to pick up 2 yards. Cameron Hamilton and Tylo Phillips after 2. And right now, Mordecai just 6 of 13, 75 yards. The 1 touchdown was off a tipped pass, and they seem content keeping it on the ground with Levine, with Nick Anderson bringing him down after 4.
Yeah, I think right now, if you're Rhett Lashley, look, remember, he told us, you know, sometimes when Tanner Mordecai comes off to the sideline and he asks him, what do you like? What are you seeing out there? What do you want? He says, look, Tanner Mordecai will just say, you call it and I'll play it. I'll do it. But right now, they got to find something to get him comfortable. And with the running game, maybe that's the quickest way to calm him down and calm this offense down a little bit and establish some rhythm. Because it's been something that's been successful the past 2 weeks. And right now, it looks like Tyler Levine settling into a nice little rhythm in this offensive line coming off the ball.
Levine is going to get it on 3rd down. He's able to pick up 3, and it's going to be another 4th and short.
That is a big time hit between Dorian Williams and DJ Douglas. I mean, DJ Douglas came in there, shot out of a cannon, and Dorian Williams, the nice stick right at the line of scrimmage, stopping him short, man. You like defensive football? That's as good as it gets right there.
So Lashley going to go for it again on 4th down. Levine stays in the backfield. It is 4th and a short 1. Big for SMU. Levine, neck rolls it up there. And a 1st down for SMU after a gain of 3.
Well, that's just a good job by the right side of the SMU offensive line. Hickman, Osborne, Condon, the center guard, right tackle, getting push at the point of attack. Knocking the Tulane defensive line off the ball. Tyler Levine is saying, hey, I'll keep doing this.
I mean, this is, Lewis, a complete departure what we've seen the past few drives. That was the 7th play of this drive. All of them have been runs, and Levine just keeps getting yards.
Look, I think Rhett Lashley and Casey Woods, the offensive coordinator, have recognized that the quarterback's just off right now. Okay, he is a little bit of a gunslinger. What does that mean? That means he can be super streaky, and we've seen right now his decision-making and accuracy is not where it needs to be. So get this running game going. Lean on this offensive line, lean on these 2 running backs.
They're going to lean on Wheaton here off the left side. And Wheaton's been unable to get anything going. Nice stop there by Anderson.
These 2 linebackers for Tulane, and Nick Anderson and Dorian Williams, are just so fundamentally sound, man. Great kids, smart football players, durable, tough, fast, can defend the run or the pass, good blitzers. And there you saw Nick Anderson making a great fundamental play against outside zone.
0 for 5 on 3rd down. Wheaton to run it. Wheaton spins out of it, and he's going to get the first down. That was a good second effort out of the Alabama transfer and a gain of 3. Hodges missed the tackle. Drive continued.
Yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes, right? You got to make the unblocked defender, you got to make him miss. And right there, Darius Hodges, he's unblocked. And that's why, as a 5-star, a former 5-star, Cam Wheaton's got to make that play.
Mordecai, quick shot out of the backfield to 13, able to make a man miss. That's Roderick Daniels. And even that throw, Lewis, was off a little bit for
scared
Daniels.
you a little, didn't it?
He had to adjust to get a gain of 5. And that was the first pass of this drive, making Clark miss the tackle.
Yeah, it's a nice job by Roderick Daniels of spinning back inside and getting some positive yardage.
So 2nd and 5. Now they're going to throw Mordecai out of the backfield. That's Wheaton. Hit out of bounds by Deal.
You see the suddenness and the quickness of Kamar Wheaton when he gets the ball in space. And he's electric. He can turn it on in a hurry. There's a reason why he started his career off at Alabama and then transferred. He is a 5-star through and through in terms of his athletic ability. They are trying to utilize it and take advantage of it.
Stacked formation, top and bottom of the screen with receivers. Mordecai going to keep it. Ball's on the turf. And the officials are trying to sort out that pile of players, but Mordecai fumbled it. SMU recovers, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
How lucky are they to get out of this? Just a great play by Dorian Williams out on the perimeter of keeping everything contained. He plays it perfect, plays his assignment. He's one-on-one against Tanner Mordecai, gets his right arm on the football, knocks it out.
Ruling on the field of a fumble recovered by SMU, short of the line to gain, is under further review.
So they're going to review that play. We'll bring in Matt Austin on the other side of the break. We're going to step aside while they have a review here. 4th and 1. Mordecai continues to struggle, but still with the ball. Can SMU convert? We'll step aside for the review. We'll come back in a minute.
Honors in studio coming up at the half. We're going to hear from Brenda Rollins, the mother of one of the University of Virginia football players shot in Sunday's tragedy in Charlottesville. She'll recount the emotional moment her son Mike learned his friend and teammate Deshaun Perry did not survive the shooting. And we'll detail some of the tributes planned across college football to the victims of this tragedy. Matt, that's coming up at the half.
So on 4th down, Levine stuck it up there. Tulane says that he fumbled, that they have the ball.
Hey, man, you saw Larry Brooks.
There's a fumble recovered by Tulane. First down.
They did. They fumbled the ball, and Tulane recovered.
Yeah, that's Larry Brooks, number 31, the safety, who comes off the edge and puts his helmet right on the football with a nice hit. You're going to see him come right here off the left side of your screen. 31 right there. You see the ball pop out. Textbook tackling for him in a short yardage type situation. Knocks the ball out of Tyler Levine. I mean, that's just great 4th down defense, great run defense on the part of Larry Brooks, who's as physical as they come. Him and Macon Clark, 2 of the safeties here for Tulane, are as physical as it gets. And if you're Tyler Levine, that's one you want back, man, because they had some rhythm going, the running game was going.
And they were relying on Levine, and he had it. But this first half for SMU,
no rhythm at all. Just stops and starts, self-inflicted wounds. Even the coaches seem to be out of rhythm a little bit, trying to find something to spark this team on a consistent basis, and they just can't find it.
Between the turnovers, some drops, some penalties. And Pratt, Tulane trying to take advantage. A shot downfield. What a grab. That was Deuce Watts.
I think he got a foot in. I think that right foot came down inbounds, and he took that off the back He took that off the back of Jahari Rogers' head.
They ruled it incomplete.
Second down.
Still a great effort.
That was close. Look, the back shoulders by Deuce Watts, he catches them on a consistent basis. But I'm telling you, I think that 1 foot came down inbounds right there. I think that's going to be a catch. That looks like a catch to me. I mean, am I missing something here?
Well, let's bring in Matt Austin for the first time tonight.
The 2 feet came down inbounds.
It's whether or not he had possession of the ball when the feet came in bounds. So Matt Austin, good evening. First time we're speaking with you tonight. You heard Lewis in his take of whether or not he thought that was a catch by Deuce Watts. What do you see?
Yeah, Matt, thanks. And I agree with both of you. I do think Lewis is right. He got both feet down, but did he firmly control the ball? He had it in an odd angle. Looked like he had the ball. One hand had the palm on the ball. The other hand looked like the back of his hand was on the ball. But I never saw the ball move. Once he got his feet down and went out of bounds, it looked like the ball, he controlled it all the way to the ground the same way.
Yeah, he has it pinned to the back of the defender's head.
Doesn't have control.
He has he has his right hand on it. I mean, that's.
I don't think it's a catch, Lewis.
Look, that's.
It's a remarkable
It's a great effort. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can see what you're saying.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. Second down.
That's close. What a heck of an effort, though, by Deuce Watts, who makes these back shoulder difficult catches on a regular basis. I mean, he's been a master at them for Tulane all year long. That would have been his best one yet.
It would have been for 30. That was just a remarkable incomplete pass. Second and 10.
It's a good description.
The fake to Tajay Spears. You know what? They're going to try it again. That time it was Shea Wyatt. They're getting that one-on-one coverage with Rogers.
Yeah, they're definitely testing Jahari Rogers for sure. Look, defensive coordinator Scott Simon says he believes that Jahari Rogers has this big-time ability, just needs to put it all together. His transfer from Florida, had 8 PBUs in 2021 that led the team.
SMU bringing pressure, and the pass complete to James. And a good job by Massey and the SMU defense. Again, they get another stop. So with 3 timeouts, they're going to get the ball just under 3.5 minutes, Lewis, to try to get something before they go to the half.
I think, you know, you've got to go back to continuing to run the football and making sure that Tyler Levine and Kamar Wheaton stay engaged in this game and get this running game going and get this offensive line, keep them engaged. But, man, right now, Rashee Rice has got to make his mark on this game. 2 catches for 14 yards so far in the half. The leading receiver in college football, yards per game and total receiving yards, and you got 14 yards and a half. That's just not going to cut it.
And again, special teams tonight.
You got to field that ball.
Have been big. Casey Glover gets the bounce, 59 yards. So SMU a long field to go with 3 timeouts. The AAC is on ESPN+. These are our featured upcoming events. Saturday, college football 2 Eastern, 6-4 East Carolina hosts 6-4 Houston, who's still in the conversation. And Memphis looks to get bowl eligible with the win against North Alabama. Plus, Morgan Uber hosts the American Bowl preview show coming in December after the games are decided. If you're an AAC fan, you got to have it. Sign up ESPNplus.com. So Tulane receives the second half kick, making this possession for SMU huge. Outside to Wheaton. That's a good first down play for SMU. Wheaton out of the backfield. Dorian Williams brings him down, gain of 7.
Look, I'll tell you what, you start holding your breath a little bit if you're Tulane's defense, because you saw the explosiveness right there of Kamar Wheaton.
Wheaton is going to have, it appears, enough for the first down. It's going to be right on the marker. They're going to give it to him. Eric Hicks brings him down. Again, all 3 timeouts for SMU.
Folks, just keep your eyes on Dorian Williams, number 2, and Nick Anderson. Dorian Williams is just a fantastic athlete at the linebacker position. He can run and hit as good as anyone.
Mordecai was looking left. He's going to tuck it and run. No one there. This Tulane secondary has done a good job on these receivers as Young chased him out of bounds after 5.
Yeah, give defensive coordinator Chris Hampton of Tulane his credit. He was a guy who we had a great time talking to yesterday. Had a good plan in store for SMU, has a great grasp of what it takes to shut down high-powered offenses like SMU.
36-year-old coordinator certainly on the way up in his career. Quick shot to Maryland at a gain of 5, and again a first down.
He was fun to talk to, wasn't he, man?
I love it. I covered him when he played at South Carolina during my stop in Columbia out there. Works 3 years in the CBS station. He played for those Steve Spurrier teams. End of the Lou Holtz era then with Steve Spurrier. It's fun to see some of these guys that Chris Hampton, a player in college, now work his way up in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, he's got a bright future.
Play fake to Levine. Plenty of time. Pass tipped. That hung up there just enough. Cooper was able to get his hands on a good tipped pass by Keith Cooper. And again, Mordecai kind of staring Levine down after he took a look downfield. Nothing doing.
That's exactly what you do as a defensive lineman. If you can't get to the quarterback, make sure you try and get that outside hand up or just match the hand of the quarterback to see if you can get a tip pass, because you know what tips usually lead to. They lead to turnover opportunities, and that's just a nice job by Keith Cooper.
Over the middle of the field, big hit. Good catch by Maryland. He's having a nice night. Young with the big hit, and that's a first down SMU.
I mean, what a great catch. Great concentration by R.J. Maryland, sitting down in that zone hole, taking a big hit and holding on. But this young man, the son of former NFLer Russell Maryland, a teammate of mine out in Oakland.
That already the 3rd first down on this drive. Levine just short of that one. Young and Anderson combined for the tackle. Still 3 timeouts for SMU.
You see Nick Anderson taking a knee here. Got an injury to it. Looked like his right hand. Maybe dislocated a finger or something. It looks like there's something wrong with his right hand.
One of the leaders of this defense, Anderson, Dorian Williams, senior Layden, 5 guys in the secondary between Lummy, Young, Macon Clark, Williams, and Anderson, who's been one of the more vital players on this Tulane defense, Harry.
Yeah, Matt, you know, he had one of the toughest 3-week stretches of anybody on the team last year. Obviously, they went to Birmingham and had to spend time there because of the hurricane. A week after that, his sister was hospitalized after being in a severe car accident with his mother. She eventually was able to recover from that. She actually just finished her first semester of high school. In the week after that accident, he actually broke his fibula. He said it was a tough 3-week stretch, but made him tougher as a person and a better teammate as well. It's made this year's success that much more better to enjoy.
Harry, thank you. Another first down for SMU. 9th play of the drive coming.
You know, it's interesting. I mean, look, they're moving the football here methodically, but the thing is they're not getting any chunk plays. No pass plays over 20 yards so far for SMU. No runs over 10 yards.
Until then.
Until then.
Until the guy we all thought would get the run of 10 or more.
Isn't that amazing?
Tanner Mordecai.
But this is a team that can produce explosive plays in their sleep. And they are just not able to get them so far. And look, get Tulane's defense credit.
So 32 seconds left here in the first half. SMU still with a full complement of timeouts. Ball at the 32. Mordecai to the sideline. That was a good throw, and that was dropped by Goffney. And the first half of mishaps continue. Brooks had good coverage, but Mordecai put that right on Goffney.
That's just the play you have to make. You have to make, and if you're Dylan Goffney, talk about explosive plays, a guy who's averaging over 21 yards per reception, and you're sitting here in a 2-man situation, and you got that matchup against Larry Brooks that you should win every time, wide receiver on a safety, and you just drop it. I mean, what more can you say?
That was right on his numbers. Levine back in the backfield. Over the middle, Curley tries to make a man miss. Can't. Brooks there.
Now that's how you play zone coverage. When you're the offside short zone defender, like Larry Brooks was, and you see a wide receiver coming across the formation on a shallow crosser like Jordan Curley, you just wait for it and then you tackle it and put him on the ground. And you got to be impressed with this Tulane secondary against this high-powered passing offense.
So SMU uses their first time out of the half. Under 20 seconds to play. Mordecai was getting something looked at with his eyes. I don't know if he wears contact lenses or what's going on over there.
Just look at Tanner Mordecai's stat line so far, though, Matt. 13 of 22, 115 yards. One touchdown that basically should have been intercepted or knocked down on the screenplay to R.J. Maryland. This has been a tough night against one of the better defenses in all of college football in this Tulane defense.
So 3rd and long, trips top of the screen. They put 1 second back on the clock to 20 seconds. And Mordecai's, I mean, he's just been bouncy with his feet all night. Pressure came in. Williams and Deal brought the pressure.
They ran a nice little TT stunt inside where you're going to see some crossers. You see Dorian Williams. He's the one who gets the hit. Tylo Phillips is in there as well. I mean, that's just a nice job of getting after the center, Branson Hickman, trying to cause some confusion and getting pressure right in those A-gaps, which all quarterbacks hate.
So 49-yard field goal by Colin Rogers. No good. He had enough leg on it, missed it left. In the first half for SMU, this is going to be one, Lewis, where they're going to want to go to the break. Remember, Tulane gets the kick to start the second half. They couldn't get, nothing's gone their way here in the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, but you can't necessarily be surprised when you look at the FBS rankings of the Tulane defense in all these specific categories. 10-plus yard plays allowed, tied for 5th in the country. 20-plus yard plays allowed, tied for 7th in the country. 30-plus yard plays allowed, tied for 5th in the country. They're one of the best in all of college football, and right now they're living up to that after last week getting ripped early by UCF and then settling down in the second half. They've come out, they've started hot in this game.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to Tulane. 28-7 here at the half. SMU, 3 turnovers, 3 drops, 1 of 8 on 3rd down. But Michael Pratt, he's been the star. 3 total TDs. And when Tulane trying to win 10 games for the first time since '98, stay in that American Conference Championship race, they've certainly made a statement here at the half. Halftime report now, Kevin Cottage, Sam Acho. It's big one in the American Conference, trying to keep those American Conference Championship hopes alive. And it is all home team here on senior night. Lewis Riddick, Matt Berry alongside. Talked about it coming into this game, the explosiveness of SMU's offense. But it's been Tulane that scored a lot of points tonight. As we take a look at tonight's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. It's been Pratt, it's been Tajay Spears, it's been the stars for Tulane.
Yeah, it sure has. Look, those two have accounted for 130 yards on the ground and all 4 touchdowns that have been scored by Tulane tonight. And you see Michael Pratt just making great decisions, Matt, as far as the zone read game, knowing when to hand it off, when to pull it and run it himself. He's thrown the football effectively, getting the ball to Tajay Spears out there on the perimeter there. And then you see this long touchdown run where he basically embarrassed the secondary of the SMU defense with everyone giving poor effort in order to get the quarterback on the ground. They just need to dial up more of that here in the second half and continue to keep their foot on the pedal, because it has worked brilliantly in the first half so far.
Again, so much at stake here for Tulane and what's been a remarkable turnaround after 2 wins a year ago. Already 8-2. SMU tonight, Cincinnati next week. 3-way tie atop the American standings at 5-1. UCF, Cincinnati, and Tulane. Keys had a big kick return in the first half. He's going to field this in his 1-yard line. And Keys again. There goes Keys.
Oh.
I mean, Lawrence Keys is a highlight waiting to happen.
It's that alley return once again. You see him here. You see him start upfield, set it, and then break it outside, right between basically the guard and tackle of the front line of the blocking team, of the kickoff return team. Almost gets the ball stripped out of his hands there and gets it turned over. But man, what a great setup by Keys as far as setting that return up the middle and then breaking it to the perimeter. God, he looks good doing that.
So ball did get stripped. It was a fortuitous bounce for Tulane, hopped right in the hands of one of their players. And look at this field position again after a kick return of 68 yards. Ball spotted down at the 32. Let's go down to Harry.
Yeah, Matt, I spoke with both coaches at the half. Willie Fritz, their plan was simple. Hey, we need to get back to running the football and keep our foot on the gas. As far as SMU goes, Rhett Lashley said, we have got to stop with the self-inflicted wounds, the penalties, the turnovers, the drops. He also said offensively they have to get a rhythm. It's going to be difficult, he said, though, because of this lead that Tulane has and the way that they're going to be able to play them defensively.
All right, so I had thought, Harry, thank you, that they were going to look at that again, but the knee
on the ground.
Keys, when he had popped down, the ball had popped out, so they're going to back that ball up to the 45-yard line. The knee was down.
Yeah, you see there, it's a nice effort, though, on the part of SMU, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do, is come in there and try and strip it from behind. What a nice return, though.
Still 55 yards, still good field position, still Michael Pratt picking up where he left off, and he is getting yards at a clip there. Gain of 9.
Look, it's just a nice job again of him reading the force player, Brandon Crossley. He pulls the football. Crossley commits to the running back. He's not replaced in run support out on the perimeter quick enough, and he's just out the gate.
Averaging 6 yards a carry. Now 2nd and 1. It's Tajay Spears off the right side. Spears had himself a great first quarter. It's a gain of 11. Jimmy Phillips brings him down.
They continue to distress the perimeter defense of SMU. Play with great physicality on the edge, whether it be the wide receivers blocking, the tight ends. 84 Will Wallace, he's been blocking his rear end off all night, and then just hitting it with speed and hitting it downhill with Tajay Spears.
5th straight game for Spears, going over 100 yards. Pratt's going to look left. One-on-one coverage. Has a guy down there. Drops it right in. Touchdown. What a throw. Shea Wyatt.
They continue to go after Jahari Rogers and Shea Wyatt. I mean, that's as good of a throw and catch. I mean, Michael Pratt is on it tonight. Look at this great release. Just drops it over the outside shoulder.
I mean, you can't
It's perfect, man. It's perfect. That's pretty good coverage. That's really good coverage. You dropped it into a 6-inch by 6-inch box.
It was so good. He was on the other side of where we're calling the game. It was dropped so perfectly in there, you couldn't see it because it was dropped right over 2 backs.
I mean, it's great release, great route, ball tracking, putting the ball with enough air, dropping it in there right perfectly against really good coverage.
And look at that. 4 touchdowns accounted for Pratt. This green wave, it's full tide right now. 35-7. Quarter. As good a throw and catch as you're going to see in college football. Have another look at this, Lewis.
I mean, look, Michael Pratt, he has all the time in the world to just drop this thing in there out of the sky to Shea Wyatt, who really is their long ball home run hitter. Great tracking skills. And if you're Jahari Rogers, the corner for SMU, you're sitting there thinking, what more can I do? He dropped that into a 6-inch by 6-inch box. And sometimes the throw is just indefensible, and that's really one of those situations.
And that a big touchdown pass for him for his career, tied for 3rd with J.P. Lossman at 60. Look at that list. Patrick Ramsey, Sean King.
There's some real good quarterbacks on that list.
Now 3rd all-time for Pratt.
Absolutely. Look, and we came in here talking about Tanner Mordecai and Rashee Rice and how they're able to light it up, and how Rashee Rice has just been dominating college football in terms of his yards per game that he's been racking up. And it's been just crickets out of this offense so far.
5 25-plus yard plays for Tulane. SMU, the offense we're used to having those, has none. That's Levine on 1st down, brought down by Young and Anderson.
You just see that the The Tulane defense is playing at a different speed. Tackling with authority, stripping the football, setting the edge against the run for the most part. Like that.
Anderson brings down Levine. Senior night here, the defense. I mean, look, they give up 19 points a game. And for an SMU offense that averages over 40 a game, 7 in the first half for them.
Now, we must, call it fairly and say SMU's had their chances. They've been behind this secondary for Tulane and just dropped the football. So they've hurt themselves too.
That's Levine wide open out of the backfield. That's going to be a first down and a big play for SMU. Gain of 13. Larry Brooks on the tackle. Now SMU trying to get some tempo, see if he can get any kind of rhythm going as a play call.
Yeah, for me, the guy who's got to get going, look, other than Rasheed Rice, and we've said it enough, but a guy like Jordan Curley has to get going. They have to get him the football.
We got Rice the ball there. We said coming in the nation's leading receiver in yards. Young and Monroe bring him out. Rice a couple of uncharacteristic drops. Even he hasn't been able to get going.
Larry said it. And that was the fact that, or Harry said it, the fact that Rhett Lashley said it would be tough to get in a rhythm because of the way that they have to play this game now, which is primarily throwing the football now that they're down so big.
It's Levine and a gain of 2.
There you see Rhett Lashley on the screen. This is a tough situation for him to be in. When you're playing against a defense that's this fundamentally sound, and you know that they have turned you into a one-dimensional offense, it's hard to come up with calls that you know you can go to when really not too much has been working.
2 of 9 on third down. Mordecai to throw. Maryland has been consistent tonight. He moves the chains for SMU after a gain of 10.
Sure has. He's just been nice working that second level of the defense, finding his own voids, making tough catches, taking big hits, holding on.
Levine. Boy, he's a bowling ball, isn't he?
And that's why they call him Bam Bam. That's his nickname, right? You see it right there. I mean, he is a tough between the tackles runner. He is not a side-to-side shifty guy. You just wonder if they're going to be able to score quick enough and get the ball back and be able to make up enough ground against this Tulane offense that's been putting up points every time they touch the ball.
That was the longest run of the night for SMU, 14 yards. Levine knows one direction on Google Maps, north. He doesn't go east and west. He goes right up the middle. And you look now, SMU, 54 points over the last 3 weeks. You don't need to be a math major to know that they're well off their average. So TJ McDaniel, his first appearance. And it brings up another third down after a gain of 2.
See, what's interesting is you haven't seen Kamar Wheaton in the game yet here in the second half. And he really is their most explosive runner out of the backfield. Maybe their most explosive player on offense when you're just talking about pure athletic ability, but hasn't come into the game.
So 3rd and 3, McDaniel still in the backfield. Mordecai keep checking the sidelines. 10th play of the drive. Looks left, over the middle. Another dropped pass. This one by Roderick Daniels, a little bit behind him, but still a pass Daniels should have caught. Young was on the coverage.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to lead him away from the DB, maybe throw it a little bit behind him so Lummy Young isn't able to drive on the football and get an easy PBU. Makes the catch a little bit more difficult for Daniels, but that's really been the story of the night.
So 1 of 3 on 4th down for SMU. Gotta have points. Mordecai scans the field. He can get it with his feet. Decides to throw. Another drop. Curley can't come up with it. Turnover on downs.
It really is unbelievable, Matt. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Everyone was covered initially. They matched these patterns perfectly. That's why Tanner had to roll out to his right and buy some time and hope somebody was able to uncover. And you can see Curley running the shallow. You see him flash right across your screen. You see there, he's trying to look second level, trying to look for Rasheed down in the corner of the end zone. Finally, Curley uncovers and he drops it.
5th drop of the night for SMU when they didn't need it. Down 35-7. Missed opportunity again for the Mustangs.
Every way imaginable. Look, I mean, points is really what matters. Yards don't really matter because the yardage difference between these two offenses isn't that big, but special teams have really played to Tulane's favor. Turnovers have played to Tulane's favor.
And Tajay Spears has played to Tulane's favor.
He sure has.
I mean, he has been electric tonight. Moses brings him down after a gain of 4.
I mean, the guy just has instant acceleration, Matt. I mean, if you didn't watch football at all, and you just watched, I mean, immediately if you turned on the game and you saw number 22, you would say, that guy can go. That guy's a different type of athlete. And it's been that way since play 1.
We just saw Levine for SMU headed to the tunnel. See if you can get an update on him, but for now it's Spears in this offense. What a hit! And they're going to rule that incomplete. It was pretty bang-bang. He didn't have possession of it. Crossley there. So to bring up a 3rd down.
That's
intended for Jackson.
I was going to say, that's the best play Crossley has made all night long. Nice read on this little swing screen. Reads it perfectly, comes downhill, and Jaquan Jackson, who is another one of those explosive playmakers that Tulane has, one of the best punt returners in the country.
So now 3rd and 6.
See if SMU can get off the field here, get it back to their offense, see if they can get anything going.
Quick shot over the middle. That's a drop by Jackson. And look, I'd be with you. Like, you're getting a couple of stops here and there, but SMU just, they don't have a pulse offensively.
Yeah, they sure don't. They sure don't. And in that kind of situation, I mean, SMU was basically inviting Tulane to go ahead and convert, keep possession of the football with how far off Crossley was playing against Jackson.
Tulane's been all or nothing tonight. They either score a touchdown or go 3 and out.
And look, if you're Rhett Lashley and you're this SMU offense, you've got to get something going here.
Statement Saturday, ABC, ESPN, Michigan host Illinois at the Big House, noon Eastern. And then Ohio State taking on Maryland. Remember, those are just pesky enough games for both of those teams as they play the following week when they're probably going to both still be ranked 2 and 3, barring any wacky upsets this week, and I don't see coming. Then Clemson hosting Miami. The nightcap, Tennessee, South Carolina, ESPN, and the ESPN app. So SMU's had the ball 9 times, 7 points. Wildcat formation for SMU. That's Upshaw, and that didn't even work.
This is unbelievable. They just absolutely cannot get anything going,
and they're trying anything.
Yeah, and you know what? That's kind of the dangerous part here. I mean, you can just tell that even the coaching staff seems to be becoming a little bit unraveled because they can't establish any kind of rhythm, and they're just picking plays off the call sheet to try anything.
That behind Maryland. And now 3rd and 15.
I mean, that ball's got to come out quicker. R.J. Maryland is coming open into that window right in the middle of the field. You just got to put it on him.
And again, the last 2 games from Mordecai, 659 yards, 11 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He's got more yards on the year than Bo Nix and C.J. Stroud. And just cannot find it.
Again, this is what happens with gunslingers sometimes, and guys who don't necessarily play a...
Tulane's going to get the ball back after a sack, a fumble, 5th fumble of the night, 3rd lost. And what a play by Darius Hodges.
If you hold the ball too long in the pocket, don't get rid of it, and you're hitching it maybe once, twice, and just holding on to the football, this is what's going to happen. You see Darius Hodges, he starts with power, then is able to get to the edge, and you see right there, he's going through the strip sack. You see his left hand swipe at the football. I mean, it's textbook pass rush on the part of Hodges against Owen Condon, the right tackle. But really, part of that also was a coverage sack because you saw how long Mordecai held the football and didn't get it out of his hand. Great team defense on the part of Tulane. Another mistake for SMU.
Corey Platt came up with it. Pratt's going to run it. Pratt's got all day down the sidelines. Tyreek James sprung him loose. Gain of 22.
And look, it's the two tight ends. It's Tyreek James and Will Wallace on the edge. Just watch what they're doing to the secondary. Watch them just push these kids all down the field. And I mean, it's just like stealing. It's like stealing right now for Michael Pratt.
And now Tajay Spears up the gut. Tajay Spears, touchdown.
Again, that's what we call it like we see it. That's great execution on the part of Tulane. But right now, having played defense my entire life, you can sense when a team is basically waving the white flag. And right here, there's no physicality as far as taking on blocks. Poor tackling. It's something you saw against Houston a couple of weeks ago that led to that offensive explosion by Houston against this SMU defense, and now you're seeing it again.
Tajay Spears, 121 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 3 total touchdowns tonight. And this Tulane offense has been explosive from minute 1. 42-7 midway through the third quarter. All that's left for them is Cincinnati. Here's what caused it. The turnover by Mordecai. The touchdown by Spears. And what a night it's been for Tulane. We are competing to be the Live Moss Student Section of the Year all season long. And these students are watching their team look for their 5th home win, which would tie the most in a season at Yulman Stadium. And barring any type of historic comeback for SMU, this massive field to the kick at his 2-yard line, they appear well on their way. So much at play for Tulane in this game as they embark on a 10-win season for the first time since 1998. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the University's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. Top of the broadcast, we told you a 3-way tie in the American Conference. UCF, Tulane, Cincinnati. Tulane and Cincinnati play next week. That takes care of them. The new center for SMU, Mordecai, slip screen to Curley. Curley tackled immediately.
You see this
gain of 2.
You see the speed with which the Tulane defense is playing. You see DJ Douglas right there. You see how fast he closed. He was playing on the hash, on the half, as a deep field safety. And as soon as he read the short throw to Curley, he's coming downhill 1,000 miles an hour. That's the fundamental difference between these two teams, especially on the defensive side tonight.
We saw Mordecai getting attention when they went to the sideline last time. They were looking at his shoulder, but he's back out there. That intended for McDaniel. We haven't seen Wheaton, though. And you brought that up the first possession there. He hadn't been out there so far in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Harry, I don't know if you're down there, if you're listening, if you can find out what has happened to Kamar Wheaton, but I mean, he's all of a sudden just disappeared from this game at the running back position where, I mean, he's the guy who has the most juice of all the running backs out of the backfield, and all of a sudden, he's just not even in the game.
And we saw Levine taken to the tunnel.
Right.
So they're down to McDaniel in the backfield in a 3rd and long, 3rd and 8.
And where is Rashee Rice? Where is he gone?
Mordecai could have gotten it with his feet, takes it to Gage Haskin for a gain of 17.
They're doing a nice job. I'm sitting here asking the question of what has happened to Rashee Rice, but it's really rhetorical because I'm focusing in on him on that play. And they're playing a 2-man, which is man underneath and then a safety over the top. And they're just saying, look, you're not going to beat us.
And Mordecai's got no time on that one. Brought down by Hodges and a loss of 4.
The pass rush on the outside, Matt, is just starting to close in on Tanner Mordecai. You can see the edge rushers just getting upfield, pressing that outside shoulder. That time it was Angelo Anderson working against Owen Condon.
Again, Mordecai brought down, and again it's Hodges.
He just flipped to the other side, didn't he? Now he's rushing off the right side, going on against Marcus Bryant. And you see him just get that inside shoulder down and turn the corner and flatten. Mordecai never sees it and doesn't have time to get rid of it.
2.5 sacks on the night for Hodges.
This is where it gets fun for a defense. You know a team is one-dimensional, you just pin your ears back and go.
Quick throw to Rice. And Tulane is right there on Rice. Young and Clark, gain of 11. And at this stage of the game, 5:15 left in the third quarter. 4th and 11. Levine back in the game. Rhett Lastly's just going to go for it.
This Tulane defense, these safeties, Lemmy Young, Macon Clark, Larry Brooks, they have been fun to watch tonight. They have made plays all over the field.
Mordecai picked again.
Right on key.
Lummy Young.
He just robs the little curl route that Rasheed Rice is trying to run perfectly. If you want to stare it down, Tanner Mordecai, you want to stare it out when you're going with the football. These safeties have been dialed in all night long. They're just going to pick your pocket. You see him right here, coming out of the middle of the field, and just reads it perfectly. He took him right to where he was throwing the football. You're going to see it here in the wide angle. Lemmy Young sitting in the middle of the field, and he just robs that curl route.
I don't know.
It's a great safety play.
I don't know what's worse for SMU fans, this game or a hangover on Bourbon Street. Because it has just been one thing after another. Shot downfield. Wyatt open. Touchdown. Yards after the turnover.
Yeah, there's the big play guy, Shea Wyatt, who had the beautiful touchdown catch earlier in the game. And you're going to see him here at the bottom of the screen up against Kavaris Hall. You see he just runs an out and up. It's just a double move. And Kavaris just loses his feet. He gets turned around, tries to wheel turn and get back into position, and just falls down on the ground.
5 turnovers for SMU. 40 ball plays for Tulane. 48 points. Now 49. What a statement, Lewis, by this Tulane team coming off the loss a week ago to UCF. They've lost to SMU 7 consecutive times.
They're taking all that frustration out tonight.
I mean, I tell you, look, this is...
Hey, you know what's interesting? I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about some of the things that Willie Fritz told us, and one of the things stuck out to me, and when we asked him about, well, how did the team respond after that loss to UCF? Tough game, big-time game, national TV game. Like, how are our kids this week? And he said, you know what? He said, these players have a passion to practice. You would have never known they lost the game. They came out with the same kind of attention to detail and hustle and tempo and intensity. You would have never known that they had a heartbreaking loss last week. I mean, they're coming out here right now, no hangover whatsoever, speaking of Bourbon Street. They have no hangover. They came out here like someone who, like,
they hydrated.
A lot of us used to do in our young days.
Yeah.
You could drink all night, get up the next day and act like nothing happened. This team is acting like nothing happened at all.
Hydration packs.
That's right.
Advil.
Here they go.
Nursed the bruises.
Oh, it was good when you were young, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
You could do a lot of things like that.
A lot of stuff. Now you're bruised for a week. As Michael Pratt, now 3rd all-time, passes J.P. Lossman with 61 TDs. It'll take a remarkable effort, 9 to get to Sean King by the end of the year, but the way this game's going, he could get halfway there.
No kidding.
But 61 in his career. He's got an injured player down the field for Tulane.
What a great performance on his part. I mean, his running ability, his decision-making has really been what's been spectacular.
Lewis, he's thrown 14 times tonight. 9 for 14, 141 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but when I say decision-making, it isn't just about him throwing the football. It's about his decision-making on the zone reads, knowing when to pull it, when to keep it. And I think that's Lummy Young, who they're walking off the field, who's just absolutely had a fantastic night, as all these safeties have. Maybe the next guy I mentioned, he'll have a pick too or something. Who knows? We should go play some.
I mean, there's a casino.
I don't know.
If you're calling
play
numbers,
the lottery, I don't know. I should do something.
If you're calling numbers, I'll go to the wheel. Here's Levine up the middle. We had asked about Kamar Wheaton, where he had been. Let's go down to Harry.
Yeah, guys, Kamar Wheaton is down here on the bench. He's seated with a jacket on. He's been favoring his left arm, left shoulder area. One of his teammates actually had to help him put his coat on down here on the sideline, so it doesn't appear we'll be seeing him again tonight.
That explains that.
Just 9 rushes for 29 yards. Levine over the middle. And look, in terms of SMU, in Rhett Lashley's first year, they're bowl eligible again. First coach to do that since 1982. This is kind of a gut check moment early on in his tenure at SMU.
Sure, it's not even really about winning and losing really at this point, although the game's never over. You're never out of the fight, especially when you can do that.
That's Dylan Goffney. He's had the drops tonight. He's dropped a couple of them. That's the biggest play for SMU. Mordecai to Goffney and a gain of 38.
And look, you see Rashee Rice downfield also. You see there, he just kind of fakes a wide receiver screen and then takes off down the field. And they get him going. I was going to say Rashee Rice downfield trying to get a block to help spring Goffney on a bigger run. They've got unique playmaking ability and big strike ability on the outside, but again, give credit to this Tulane secondary.
That's to Rice, quick out route. Rice makes a man miss. Stepped out just shy of the first down. Platt was on him. And a gain of 6. So 3rd and short. Looks like that's going to be a first down. Levine takes up the left side for 1.
It has just been tough sledding inside for Tyler Levine tonight, man. I mean, he's had some good runs. He's also, he's a guy who doesn't make many people miss, so every game is just absolutely like a heavyweight fight for him once the game is over with the amount of hits he's going to take. And
play fake to Levine. Mordecai to the end zone, and that's just going to be overthrown. Intended for Curley.
I mean, if you're Tanner Mordecai right here, you have Rashee Rice coming inside on an intermediate crosser over the middle, wide open. Now, I don't know what his read is, but you can see Rashee Rice on the outside here, and just watch him just come inside. You see Curley running the swing route. I mean, he's wide open. There's no one within 5 yards of him, and he throws it into coverage. Curley's running out of bounds, forced out of bounds. That's the kind of night it's been for SMU tonight.
Levine trying to cut that out, but he does. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. That was a good example of it.
Yeah, I mean,
in an offense that's used to big plays, quick strike.
I mean, you just wonder where his eyes were. They clearly were not on seeing what Rashee Rice was doing and what the coverage had dictated, and he threw it into coverage.
So Larry Brooks down on the field for Tulane.
Another one of those safeties that have just made their presence felt all night long for this Tulane defense. And look, defensive coordinator Chris Hampton. Again, I'll tip my cap to you, man. You have these guys playing tonight against a very high-flying offense that has a lot of weaponry. And your safeties have been on it. Lance Robinson has been on it. Lummy Young, Larry Brooks, Macon Clark. DJ Douglas has had an interception. All of these guys have made plays tonight.
And what did he say to us? He said, when we were talking about Rashee Rice, because we knew he was capable of such big plays, he said, if we have sloppy technique against him, he'll kill you.
Yep.
And he hasn't done that because they've had great technique.
You're exactly right.
And what's at stake tonight for Tulane in the American? three-way tie up top, 5-1. UCF, Cincinnati, Tulane. Keep an eye on that one next week. Tulane, Cincinnati. That's going to be for a spot in the American Championship. So UCF, they're kind of in cruise control right now. SMU is going to be out after tonight. Houston needs some help. But here's the remaining schedule. UCF, a big one against Navy at USF to end the season. Pretty favorable for them. Cincinnati's got Temple and then Tulane. And then Tulane, the back-to-back SMU, Cincinnati. It's all going to come down to the final week, Lewis.
Yeah, and Cincinnati's offense maybe not quite as explosive as it's been in the past. You know, when I watch them play against SMU and in preparing for this game, don't have really the same kind of explosiveness. I think, you know, that'll be a nice matchup, a nice hard-fought game, but a nice matchup for this Tulane defense in particular.
You see the clinching scenarios for UCF. And then the second spot we just touched on cannot be clinched until next week. Third down for Mordecai. Another shot at the end zone. Touchdown SMU. R.J. Maryland, his second of the night. An extra point away from 49-14.
The one guy who tonight has showed up consistently, R.J. Maryland, the freshman tight end with just wonderful athletic ability, just runs an out and up, a little bit of a wheel route up the boundary. That's a nice throw, nice concentration. He beats Macon Clark. But even so, even again, I mean, Rashee Rice is open again on what would look like to me an easier throw. I mean, you're talking about the leading receiver in the nation, and they decide to go away from him. Tanner Mordecai decides to throw the football away from him. Now it ends up in 6 points anyway. Just a very strange night for this SMU offense.
The NFL returns to Mexico. Week 11 Monday Night Football matchup. Estadio Azteca, Mexico City. The 49ers take on the Cardinals, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern. Well below the point average is SMU tonight. We were talking in our car ride over that with what Tulane has on offense with Spears, Pratt, Deuce Watts, that they could get in a shootout with SMU. This could go back and forth. I don't know that any of us anticipated what we're seeing tonight out of the Ponies, averaging over 40 points a game, only 14 here, end of the third.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, you know, it's a combination of things. Sometimes when you just aren't on your game, you're not seeing the field clearly, your mechanics are off, your accuracy is off as a quarterback, combined with the fact that you have a...
So nice job by Tulane's coverage team there.
You have a very good Tulane defense, an opportunistic special teams unit that has just ripped them as far as the kick returns are concerned. They've created turnovers. I mean, all that stuff usually comes together to have this kind of disparity in a game.
And by the way, both teams have exactly 333 total yards.
Right.
The yards disparity is
that's not it.
one.
That's right. And you know, yards very rarely tell the whole story anyway, Matt. You know how that goes. I mean, field position,
5 turnovers.
Exactly. And special teams. Special teams tells you a huge, huge story in this game. It's really the forgotten phase in football that more times than not has an effect that you underestimate.
SMU's also run 35 more plays. So statistically, this thing is all about turnovers, execution, and big runs like that. Shoddy Clayton Johnson.
See, that's the big boy bringing the hammer. 200-pounder, 205 pounds. Fresh legs, just bring him in there. And now just let him just start trying to wear down this defense.
So Ahmad Moses, injured player on the play. Gain of 29. 7th play for Tulane tonight of at least 25-plus yards. And at this point, with what's at stake for Willie Fritz and Tulane, you could probably ride Clayton Johnson and Celestine the rest of the way. Spears came into this one banged up, didn't play a lot in the second half against UCF a week ago. You call him a Ferrari, a sports car, you don't need too much mileage on it tonight, up 49-14.
Yeah, man, he's got that real quick acceleration, man. I mean, it's just like 0 to 100, no time. And he's tough. I mean, if you watch the tape of Tulane and you watch some of their previous games, this young man Tajay Spears will step up in there in blitz protection, and he will stone you. He will get out on the perimeter and block on these quarterback design runs. I mean, he's got it all. I know I talked to a couple scouts that were down on the field before the game, and they said he was one of the guys they're here to watch. He has a career waiting for him at the next level. What a good showing for him tonight.
So trips formation, bottom of the screen. That's Clayton Johnson. And a gain of 4. But what a story Willie Fritz has been here. 7th season at Tulane. He's won everywhere he's been. JUCO, D2, FCS. Now here at Tulane, taking a job and building this thing back up to where it was. Last year was the outlier. That graphic shows it all right there.
There's some pretty impressive names on that list. You got the GOAT on that list. You got some real impressive names, and Willie Fritz is a fun guy to talk to. Great demeanor, great outlook on the game of football.
Clayton Johnson continues to be the guy now for Tulane. Another first down.
But there's just a lot of things. If you watch this game and just kind of don't pay attention to the score, or if you didn't know what the score was, if you just look at how these two teams are competing right now, the physicality, the pad level, the extra effort, you can quickly figure out really what the story of this game has been. Because one team has kind of taken the life out of the other, and it's very noticeable.
Senior night for Tulane. They hop on the road to Cincinnati next week. They pointed to tonight. Could they bounce back from UCF? Like some sweet jazz music, a good cold hurricane cocktail, and some Cajun food. Perfect mixture for Tulane tonight, 49-14.
At numerous different times as far as when to pull the ball, when to take off and run it. He's thrown the football with accuracy. He hasn't put it in harm's way.
His first career 5 TD game.
I mean, it's just been that kind of night for him. And at 6'3", 220 pounds, I think you kind of underestimate just the kind of physicality that he brings to the game.
I mean, look, the numbers, 9 of 14 for 141, that's pedestrian. The 3 touchdowns and the way he's executing this offense is not.
Yeah, and I think it's more so than even just the offense as to why this game has the score differential that it does.
I mean, Johnson had an opportunity. That thing opened up quick. He's going to be brought down after the first down.
I mean, this has really been a 3-phase dismantling by Tulane against SMU. Look, the offense has had 6 plays of 25-plus yards. The defense has 5 takeaways. Special teams, I mean, they've just been breaking long return after long return after long return. And those kind of things add up to short fields, easy scores. You don't have to rack up a bunch of yardage or have great statistics. And that's really what the game is all about. And for Tulane, what more could you ask for?
Clayton Johnson has a crease, and they are just doing what they want up front. Ball came out right near the goal line, but they marked him down at the 1 after a gain of 16.
I mean, they're really just running the same plays over and over. The G schemes, the counters, the powers, blocking down, pulling backside guards. They're getting great kickouts. They're getting great down blocks at the point of attack and just washing this SMU defensive line down the line of scrimmage. And now, as we said, big Clayton Johnson right now, he's just teeing off.
Lashley's going to take a timeout, ran down there to the line judge. 1st and goal.
SMU is challenging that the runner was not down. There was a fumble recovered by SMU in the end zone. Previous play is under further review.
All right, so let's have a look at this. We've been joined by Matt Austin tonight. You see Rat say, well, why not? We may as well if we can. What do you see, Matt Austin?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious that his knee was down. You could see him kind of swimming for the goal line. Then the ball came out late. I think this is obviously going to be confirmed, and he's going to lose a timeout and a challenge for the rest of the game.
Right, you can't blame him at this point, though.
I guess not. I mean, really, if you get a good look at this, I mean, the knee is down right there.
Yep.
I mean, it's really just as plain as day. I don't know what advice he was getting or what decision he was trying to make there, or what he thought he saw.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. SMU has lost their challenge and is also charged the first timeout of the second half. First down, Tulane.
I mean, my guess, SMU player clearly recovered it.
Yeah.
Who knows? He knows they're about to punch it in.
It's one of those nights, Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just one of those nights. You're just kind of like grasping at straws. You know you've been totally, I don't want to say outclassed, but you've just been out-executed tonight in every way imaginable. And this is just, I mean, it's a terrible situation to be in as a coach, that you're trying to find any kind of way to give your team any kind of spark.
I mean, it was 14-0 quick Tulane. SMU had the opportunity for the touchdown that Rice dropped, and from there, it's just been one thing after another. Clayton Johnson stopped short. Isaac Slade Matatia on the tackle. But again, a 3-game winning streak for SMU that brought them in here. In that 3-game winning streak, they've scored 45, 77, and 41.
Sometimes it's just not your night. And when you start having self-inflicted wounds and you turn it over and you meet up against a team like Tulane that has really responded perfectly to what happened to them last week, it all mixes up to really not be a bad recipe, or really not be a good recipe in the case of SMU.
Pratt, the play fake, has a guy in the back of the end zone. He's going to tuck it himself and run. And that touchdown big for a lot of people. And that's going to get the tempers flaring.
Back up, back up.
And you see that Tulane's offensive lineman didn't like the fact that they took a shot at their quarterback like that. And it's Josh Remitich right there. Look, it's been their night, man. They have really put it on, this SMU defense, and there's a little bit of frustration coming out from guys like Gary Wiley on that SMU defense as well.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 3, the defense. That foul will be enforced on the kickoff. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the half. Result of the play was a touchdown.
You'd mentioned we saw Wiley there.
Yeah.
And with the night, Pratt has had 6 touchdowns. You see him getting clearly in. And the offensive line right there to protect the quarterback, who's been amazing tonight.
You see Wiley has a hold of, you think he has a hold of Josh Remitich's helmet and pulls it off. It's just been one of those nights, man.
56 points for Tulane. What an offensive and defensive output. All home team. Start of the 4th quarter. 4-7, they fought their way back into that one and made it a game at the end. And they've just been clicking on all cylinders tonight, 56-14.
Like we said early in this game that they started off slow in that game against UCF. And tonight, they came out already in overdrive. They were determined to try to put this game away quick.
And we just showed you a second ago, after the touchdown, Pratt took the big hit. And if you notice, look at Pratt's neck. You see him wearing a collar on the back of the neck. It's not on there. It's putting it on right there. So, Harry, explain to the beautiful people what that collar is all about.
Yeah, Matt, so this is actually called a Q collar. It's FDA approved and places about 1.2 pounds of pressure on the internal jugular vein, which carries oxygen-free blood from the brain back to the heart. This increases the blood volume in the skull, providing extra cushion and an airbag effect, essentially, for the brain against the skull during any impact against or to the head. It's kind of a similar idea to wearing a seatbelt in a car. It won't necessarily prevent a concussion the same way a seatbelt won't prevent an accident, but it'll potentially save you from more severe injury. Pratt actually suffered concussion-like symptoms after a hit last season against the same SMU team last year and has wanted to do what he can to protect himself. That's why he's wearing that tonight.
Illegal forward pass beyond line of scrimmage. Number 8 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Harry, good stuff. Thank you. The technology is just nowadays remarkable what they're able to do.
That's a remarkable explanation, Harry.
I was going to say, he's going.
Are you reading that off of something? I know you didn't remember all that, did you?
You know.
That's impressive, man. That's impressive. That sounds like something that maybe more people will start to look into the more, you know, we talk about it and maybe other broadcast crews talk about it.
Second down.
So you saw the play before. Mordecai clearly passed the line of scrimmage after he found Levine. So that's a loss of down. So 2nd and 14. That's over the middle to Levine. And he's still playing. I'll tell you what, down 56-14, Levine's going to give you all he can. Dorian Williams missed the tackle, gain of 11.
He's not going to give up. I mean, that's just not his DNA. That's not the football character that he plays with. And look, you said it earlier, Rhett Lashley is going to be looking for who are the kind of people that he's going to want to continue to build his program at SMU with.
That's it.
And who are the kind of people you're going to say, hey, look, thanks for showing up, but we got to go in a different direction, because this is the kind of game that will test you in terms of how much do you actually like this game.
They end their season with Memphis. So 7-5 in a first season, and an opportunity to go to a good bowl game. But yeah, look, there's a lot of first-year coaches around the country, and these are the kind of games, as much as wins and losses, building a program, you're learning you just said it, who wants to be there.
Sure. And look, this is a football program that has a very storied history, despite the fact of what happened when they didn't play football for a while. But look, back in the early 80s, late 70s, in the days of Eric Dickerson and Craig James and Lance McElhaney and Jerry Ball, I mean, these were some guys that were absolute players, both at the college level and at the professional level. I remember those teams very, very vividly. And they're trying to get this program back to where it needs to be. They have some new facilities that are going to be coming online here in the near future. A lot of money down there that's being invested into this program and at its disposal. And with the transfer portal being the way it is now, you can improve your team very quickly.
And what did we talk about? We talk about this with SMU all the time. You know, they're going to lose. DFW's got some of the best high school football in the country.
Yeah.
I covered it for 5 years. I was down there, works in Dallas every Friday night. I mean, you'd be at stadiums packed with 30,000 people. And Rhett knows that you're not going to get a lot of those guys first time out.
Right.
But you can recruit them. When they go to some of these big programs and it doesn't work out, they want to come home to Dallas.
Sure.
And that's what he's building this thing on.
Sure, and you know what? And if you show a propensity to win games, develop players, send them to the league, they don't want to go anywhere else in the first place. SMU will be their first choice, but you've got to establish a base and a foundation that is rooted in winning. Look, that's really the name of the game. Yeah, I know NIL is out there, and people will say, well, no, it's just about what's the best deal a kid can get and how much time he can get on the field and market himself. But in the end, every athlete is attracted to winning, and that's what they've got to establish here. They've got to use the transfer portal to their advantage.
One of those guys, Kamar Wheaton, 5-star player, started at Alabama, came home to Dallas, wide open there, good shot to 13, Roderick Daniels, and a gain of 18. Right now, Dorian Williams, 2. Senior night for him, not in. Nick Anderson, 1, not in. Get some of these other guys some reps as Mordecai scans the field. And a penalty on the play, intended for Rice. So these short turnarounds,
Holding. Offense. Number 52. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
These short turnarounds, because we do this game every week, so we're talking to the coaching staff, and both of them played Saturday. SMU was in Tampa. Tulane had the home game against UCF, but blessing and the curse of them is now you get 9-10 days before your next game.
Yeah.
And if you're Temple, or Tulane rather, what's up next week, that's going to be a good time for them to get healthy. Shot there to Rice, tackled by Press or DJ Douglas.
Yeah, if you can manage the short week properly, get your players enough rest, get them healthy enough, win a football game, come out of the game without any significant injuries, on the backside you get a mini bye.
There you go.
That's a huge advantage, especially as you just pointed out, when you have a big time showdown coming up.
Next week is for the conference championship.
Yeah.
You win and you're in, barring anything that happened this weekend.
And it's just not about winning the game. It's about the way they are winning this game. And again, it speaks to what head coach Willie Fritz talked about as far as these guys having a passion to practice and continue to work to get better and go through the process. And you can just see it. You could see it in the way they were playing out here, the way they were flying around to the football on defense and on offense. I mean, that running game, as much as today's game is about throwing the football and putting up air yards or putting up passing yards and quick strike explosive plays, capturing the line of scrimmage and playing with physicality and sending the other team a message will always be a part of football, and that is exactly what Tulane did tonight.
Mordecai scans the field. He had thrown it in the middle. Two receivers were there, Maryland and Curley. Jesus Machado was kind of in the middle with it, playing defense. SMU is going to line up for a field goal attempt. Colin Rogers for 30 yards.
This is just one of those situations where if you're Rhett Lashley, you're just thinking, look, I just need to work on my football team. I need to just work on the operation of kicking a field goal, because otherwise, why else would you do that? Why wouldn't you go for the touchdown here?
Rogers now 13 for 13 on field goals, 46 or shorter. He's got him worked out. 56-17 here midway through the fourth quarter. Big at USC, at UCLA, they lost to Arizona to the Bruins. To me, this says the committee loves LSU, and if LSU were to somehow upset Georgia in the SEC championship, I believe they would leapfrog into the playoff with LSU, and Georgia would stay in, and Tennessee would get bounced. That's my thought on the playoff, as SMU attempts the pooch kick. Tulane was right there for it.
LSU is playing some ball, man.
Yes, they are. They lost that opener to Florida State, lost to Tennessee, and they're already in the SEC championship game. I'm going to give you a stat about how impressive Pratt was tonight on the other side of this. All Tulane is over. Kai Horton was in for Tulane, ending the night for Pratt. He was the fourth quarterback in FBS this season that has had 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns, joining Bo Nix, who did it against Cal, Jaden Daniels, LSU, who did it against Florida, and John Rice Plumlee, who did it against Temple in the space game that Lewis, you and I called.
Yeah. And look, John Rice Plumlee was here last week. Everyone here at Tulane said, that guy's different.
Wow.
He can go. Yeah. And look, we have seen some great football this year. We've seen some great quarterback play. You mentioned it in the break. Tonight it was Michael Pratt's turn. We've seen John Rice Plumlee have a great night. There's some quality players in the American, and we have been treated to some of it all year long.
There's Celestine up the middle, and look, Tulane could get another crack at UCF in that championship game. They handled their business tonight. They handle it next week against Cincinnati.
I think we'd all like to see that. We'd all like to see that, and I think in particular, defensive coordinator Chris Hampton would like to see it. He said they caught him off guard a little bit early in that football game with some of the designed quarterback runs that they weren't really prepared for, didn't fit them up well. And John Rice broke that game open early, and they found themselves in too much of a deficit.
There goes Clayton Johnson. Check that, Celestine. Number 8, Celestine, Iverson Celestine, and a gain of 28.
All these backs are getting a little bit tonight as far as the prosperity of running through gaping holes in this SMU defensive front. Give credit to the Tulane offensive line. They have blocked well all night long, particularly on the perimeter, the tight ends, Tyreek James, Will Wallace, the wide receivers blocking downfield. It's just been one of those games that if you've ever been a part of it on a football team, it's just a great feeling because everything is working. You're kind of in that zone that Michael Jordan talks about in basketball.
Yep.
It just feels great. It'll be a great night tonight when they get back in the locker room and get back on campus.
That run by Celestine, 6th rush of 20-plus yards. Yeah, and then on the other side of it, there's nothing that's lower.
No.
I mean, it's a quick
for
flight.
SMU?
Yeah, it's a quick flight from New Orleans back to Dallas. But this is one of those, there's two sides of this. There's one that we took a team's soul, and then there's the other that they took our soul.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing considering how they had been playing and how they thought that maybe things were turning around for them, especially on the defensive side, and how the offense was coming along offensively and defensively. But they just need better players too, Matt. I mean, they got to recruit. They got to get some kids in here to SMU so they can compete on a regular basis, especially on the defensive side where they know they're deficient.
Right.
They know they're deficient, and they got to get the players. And that's why, that's why in college football, look, we already talked about how the transfer portal can really help your football team quickly. But a lot of times, look, if you're a good recruiter and you have the facilities, you have the system, and you have the ability to really tell the kid's parents and tell the kid himself, hey, look, coming here will be beneficial to you. And that's what Rhett Lashlee will have to do in order to get this team to where he wants to get it to in this conference.
Horton keeps it 3rd and long, tackled by Isaac Slade-Maltatia. We've called his name quite a bit tonight. And Lewis, I'm not one to bring up wonky stats, but I will anyway. It's 56-17, and Tulane has yet to convert on a 3rd down.
Yeah, you don't have to convert on 3rd down when you don't have many of them.
So when the number of people tell you numbers don't lie.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's all about, right, it's all about context, right? And I love that word. I love context. I don't like just looking at a box score or looking at a stat sheet. You got to watch the game and get some context. And tonight's that.
I mean, SMU's got 88 plays. Tulane's got 54.
Yeah.
First charge time out of the half.
And all of them have been of the big variety.
Take that, number people. All your analytics books. Go for it here.
All right,
back to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families.
Likewise, Scotty, thank you so much.
SVP.
We are thankful for you that you continue to put up with the end of some of our games. 59-17. And this Tulane tonight will snap a 7-game losing streak to SMU. Last time they won in this game, 2012. Ryan Griffin to Rob Kelly, 16-yard touchdown to take the lead with 35 seconds left. 27-26 the final.
They're exercising all those demons.
They are. I mean, there's a lot of bad voodoo coming out of Tulane tonight.
I mean, there's so many like there's certain things that hold true in today's football that have always held true in football, but even more so now with the dissemination of advanced stats. And the one thing that is so big at every level is the prevention of explosive plays and or the desire to have explosive plays, because it just turns the tide of a game so quickly. And tonight, Tulane has 8 plays of 25-plus yards. SMU has 1.
And this was a team, by the way, Lewis, coming in that was tied for 5th in the country, SMU, with 68 20-plus plays.
Right. Yeah. It's just that's why whenever you hear coaches say, We need to protect the ball, turn it over, play good field position, get some explosive plays in the kicking game. People go, yeah. Don't give me that coaching speak. Well, it's not coach speak, because tonight it's playing out right in front of us.
It's tried and true.
That's right. It's playing out right in front of us.
You saw Kevin Jennings there. He's the new quarterback for SMU. Tanner Mordecai's night is done.
If we show you this screen right in front of me, this stat screen, and you didn't look at the score, you'd go, well, SMU must be winning.
That's it.
They had to be winning.
If we blind resume this thing, you'd pick the SMU
and it's
stat.
just you can't do that. You can't look at the game that way.
We've enjoyed our time here in New Orleans over the past couple of days.
No question.
Getting to know this Tulane football team. By the way, I had a muffaletta sandwich yesterday that was like the size of a car.
Yeah.
The food here.
It's spectacular.
The spirit in this town. I love it.
It's spectacular.
I had a fried bologna sandwich today. Not much in the way of salad for me here. We had a great dinner last night.
Oh, it was spectacular.
You know, we work with a guy, Jason Greenberg, on our crew.
Great conversation.
That guy, he knows every spot in every town.
Everybody knows that guy who knows everything.
Everything.
Like you say, I went here, I went there, and I went here too. I did this, I did that, and I did that too. It's like, man, is there anything you didn't do? Jason Greenberg's that guy.
Greenberg is like the Forrest Gump of college football. He's done everything.
It's like, okay, I'm just going to try and think of something that I know you haven't done, Jason.
A 1, a 2, a hell of a hullabaloo. That's Greenberg running that camera. See, he's done that too.
Yeah.
Nice play there.
And he has a contraption on his iPhone camera that you don't, because I've never seen it before.
Michael Lund's big hit. We will take the Thursday night road show to the Egg Bowl next week.
That's
Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. It's been a remarkable Thursday night package that started at the backyard brawl. Flag on the play, player down after TJ McDaniels scooted up there.
How about the backyard brawl? How good was that?
I mean, that seems
so
like
many weeks ago, yeah. Great atmosphere. We've had some real great atmosphere, some real good games. Again,
Personal
real
foul.
good players.
Illegal block below the waist. Number 43 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
We should. In fact, I'm actually just going to pitch this on live TV because, you know, our producer, Joe McCoy, has done a great job with us. We'll start pitching ideas for next week's game. On Thanksgiving, like I said, we're doing the Egg Bowl. We should do the Thursday night football list of things we're thankful for.
Yeah.
The game, the player, the stadium, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The food.
I was just gonna say before you even started that, but it leads perfectly into what I was gonna say. You know, doing live broadcasting, doing games and calling games. I mean, the fun part obviously is the game. Standing up here in this booth, looking around, being, you know, we're calling a football game. I mean, we're not saving the world. We're calling a football game. How fortunate are we? But the best part about all of this for me is getting to meet these programs, and meet the people, the programs, and the coaches, and the sports information directors, and the, you know, support staff, and sometimes the players and equipment managers.
Here we go, SMU. Roderick Daniels. Actually, they're going to rule him out at the 2-yard line.
How can you not love that part of it? The people. That's what this game is about. It's about the people.
I believe above all else, college football is about the people.
And we've met some great ones, man. And all these staffs have been gracious and open to us and shared information with us.
And Daniel's going to get in there for the touchdown for SMU. And, you know, there's always look, the game's changed. There's NIL, we know that. There's the transfer portal, we know that. But still at its core, I still believe that there's still some purity that exists.
Oh, sure.
The matchups, the rivalry,
sure.
The tailgating, the bands, the fans, the alumni. I mean, it all just goes hand in hand.
Those are the biggest ones, right? I mean, the traditional matchups and rivalries are the biggest ones. That's what people look forward to the most. But the conversations and the amount of stuff you can learn, it's about people, X's and O's, program building. I mean, for me, You guys know how I am in those meetings. I can go for hours. I mean, and sometimes it seems like I do. But, I mean, you just learn so much, and it's just so – I mean, how could you not want to do that part of it if you're doing live games? It's just – it's awesome.
You learn stories about coaches. I mean,
yeah.
You know, we were talking about, Rhett Lashley and his kids yesterday. We're having fun with them. You get to know the coaches and what they go home to, and you see them as a head coach. We get to see them kind of, with their hair down a little bit, just kind of relaxed.
Yep.
And giving us information about their team. Willie Fritz, a guy that's turned it around at just about every place that he's been, just giving it. I mean, it really is. And for those that don't get to go behind the scenes, which is why we've tried to mic up coaches this year, give you a little bit of insight into who they are.
And I think, and they appreciate it too. I mean, how many coaches have reached out to us after we've done their games and just really appreciate the conversations and the sharing of information and how productive it has been on both sides of it. And that's what makes this so worth it.
So 59-24. Another pooch kick. Tulane will recover that. They'll take a knee. They will kick off another college football weekend. Statement Saturday featured number 3 Michigan host Illinois at the Big House, noon Eastern. Then second-ranked Ohio State takes on Maryland. Beware of the look ahead in those, although I don't think it'll be much of a factor. Clemson hosts Miami, Tennessee, South Carolina, the nightcap on ESPN, and as always on the ESPN app. So some final numbers as we get you out of here. Michael Pratt, the 6 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 passing. Their offense, complete game. You talk about all 3 phases, 8 plays of 25-plus yards. Defense forced 5 turnovers. Special teams had 2 big kick returns. I mean, that's as complete of a performance as you're going to get.
It's a good night's work on a short week. Now get a little bit of a mini bye and prepare for the showdown.
59 points, the most by a team without a third down conversion in 25-plus years. I'm just going to keep piling on the number, people. You know why? Because I'm thankful for them. Let's start Thanksgiving themes now.
It's good to be thankful, Matt. It's good.
So it is final, 52-24. Complete effort out of Tulane. 9th win of the season, still pursuing 10 for the first time since '98. They will put everything on the line next week at Cincinnati. Win, and they get in the American Conference Championship game.
For a rematch against
UCF. Now, UCF has to take care of some of their work.
Of course.
They've got Navy.
Well, we're already going down the road of looking ahead, so we might as well